Oh yeah, welcome to How Can She? This is a Marvel Snap podcast dedicated to the filthiest of casuals. I'm the kid, one half of the Super Snapper Rose, here with my brother from the same mother, Mr.
MBD.
We got a very special guest with us today. We have a man who has his own podcast, the Deep Space Podcast, who's booked until next year. Very popular, prolific streamer from Power On Gaming. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. ObiHaved. How the hell are you, man? Tell the people where they can find you.
Holy cow. I don't know if I could follow that intro. That was high praise. Thank you so much. And let me just say that I've been a big fan of the How Can She Snap podcast myself. It's part of my daily commute on the week, so I appreciate it. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Where can we find me? Mainly on Twitch. I am a Twitch streamer. Mondays and Fridays, I'm streaming on Twitch. Mondays, we do a live podcast called Deep Space that you mentioned, where we bring on a new creator each week, learn more about them as individuals, as people, life experiences, cool adventures they've been on. We'll share some pictures, sometimes video, and then we'll sprinkle in a little bit of Snap as well. Fridays is mainly just a Snap, and then you can find me on YouTube for old Deep Space videos at ObiHaved. That's ObiHaved. Wow. What?
I love it, dude. Hey, man.
You know where that comes from? So back in the day when I was younger, my gamer tag was Obi-Wan, and I spelled it ObiWham.
That's great. Where's the ObiHaved come from? Is that Austin Powers, or is that just like a play on words? I like it. It's cool. Though.
So I originally, when I got to Twitch, it was Obi TV, but I spelled it with a 0. And I had little kids at the time. My kids are much older now, and I couldn't really dedicate the time to it to really make a run at it. So I just left it. And then when Snap came around, I decided I really wanted to give it a go. I'm pretty decent at Snap. I can provide some value to people, explain some things, and maybe not look like too much of a fool in front of everybody, right? So I wanted to change the Twitch name to Obi. Obi was taken, right? So if I have an alt account in other games, I'm like, ooh, Obi twice. So I tried Obi twice. That was taken. So then I go, I've had 3 accounts before. Let me try that name, Obi Trice. Yeah. That was also taken.
Shout out Detroit.
Yeah.
There you go.
So then I go, all right, how about ObiHave, right? Like a play on words. And that was also taken. So finally, as a latch-this effort, I was like, all right, let me just slap a D on this one and see if it'll go. And ObiHaved was born.
Hey, dude, kudos to you for not putting 5 underscores after it. You found one without it. Sounds good,
Right.
You could have done what were the gamer tags back in the 90s, XX420, that shit. Those are fun.
Or, I could have done the 0, right? 0 BI, but then nobody would be able to find me.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I love it, dude. Well, man, thanks for coming. Thanks for actually listening to our stupidity every once in a while. We appreciate it. But yeah, I think we got a pretty good episode today. One, there's a massive OTA we got to go through, and I think we're just going to start with that because that shaped the entire meta, so it's going to be ridiculous. We're going to talk about Sersi, the new card that came out this week. No Big Deal is going to tell us what he thought that it read, and it's going to be funny because he bought the card under false pretenses.
Oh no!
And then we'll probably get into the developer roadmap at the end because we'll have to talk about that. That'll be it. Let's get it. The kid. All right. ObiHaved. How the heck are you, man? Thanks for coming.
I'm doing well, dude. Guys, this is amazing. I'm pumped.
I love it. How's your weekend Snap been, dude?
My weekend Snap has been fairly quiet. So I have a 9 to 5, surprise. And every once in a while, I shouldn't say every once in a while, 1 week a month, I have to go into the office. And it just so happens that was this week. So my Snap experience has been very limited because we got some new hires that I'm involved with training. And it's just been, balls to the wall at the office. And then when I get home, I've just been sleeping, so it's The in-office week. Yeah. But this OTA that they just launched on Thursday, holy moly. Probably one of the better ones in my opinion, I think.
Yeah, dude, it's wild. It was big. I don't remember one being this big. I think maybe last month or the month before the patch was pretty huge. But this OTA is pretty massive. No big deal. How's your week been, dude? How you doing?
It's pretty good, man. I'm trying to get back into the snap. I was on vacay. Right now, I feel like really relaxed. Because I was just getting like a scalp massage. I was over at Nerf Herder's mom's house, and
oh my god!
She was like massaging my scalp, And I don't know if you ever had like an older woman like massage your scalp. Like it feels really nice, gets you really relaxed. And she was just complimenting like my hairline, and she said like, I wish guys like my age like had a hairline like yours. So like she really liked it. So shout out to her. And maybe your son doesn't agree, but I at least she was into it. So I feel pretty relaxed and ready to talk to the snap boys.
Oh my goodness!
Clapping back. Those who don't know,
what just happened here? What did we walk into?
I don't even know that was coming. That's funny. Nerfritter was talking shit on Twitter about No Big Deal's hairline.
Shake that hit, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah, he's coming back on in a couple of weeks too. We love that.
Yeah, we can talk about that too when he comes
fuck
back.
around. He's awesome. That's great. Well, no big deal. While
Mom, the meatloaf. We want it now.
Yeah. So we got no big deal Rogaine over here. Let's just get into the OTAs, boys. Let's just get into it. Let's just like guns ablazing. This pod starting off. Who the hell's barking? Is that your dog? No big deal.
Yeah, Carlos he loves to be. He's fired up.
Well, this OTA is fired up. I'm sorry, Obi. We're the wheels have come off here early, dude. I'm sorry.
Shout out to the mom massage. Holy.
Speaking of head massages and bald heads, we have Professor X.
There you go. Boom.
There he is.
The first big change, a big nerf to Professor X. He was a 5-1, locks down the location. Now he's a 5-2 with an ongoing moving is the only way to add or remove a card from here. Obi, what do you think of this change, man?
I love this change. It brings new mechanics and synergies into it. I actually saw a move list that incorporated Heimdall, Professor X, and all the move cards, and he shifted them all into the Prof X lane at the end of the game, and I was like, oh, this is broken. Like, so good. You removed the Ravona synergy, which was huge, right? So you can't cheat out Professor X on turn 4 anymore. Like, I think they nailed this out of the park with this change.
Yeah, no big deal. What do you think, man?
Well, I think that I like the change. I like they hit the Prof X. I mean, this is classic feels bad card. I mean, I think this is the same. I put in the same category as like Galactus and Eliath, where regardless, this one actually had really good stats like Eliath. So maybe more closer to the Eliath change, but just feels bad to play against. He locks up a lane, you can't play cards there, so basically you can't play Marvel Snap, and people want to play Marvel Snap, they want to play the game, so this card prevented you from doing that. So I think it was definitely a big feels bad. They tried to take the power off, which I respect that they did that first, and then they said, okay, it's not enough. So to me, the old Prof X that we knew is dead. I think this is basically a dead card. But if what Obi's saying is true and people are starting to use it creatively in the move decks, if that pops up, then that I think that would be pretty sick. But that's almost like a completely different card, right? Like, that's not the Prof X we knew, like lock down a lane, go win another one. Like, we're talking about lock down a lane and then we'll win it later with move cards. Like, that's wild. So pretty sick, but I think they mostly like neutered this card. Like, I think pour one out for the Prof. I already finished my drink, but pour one out for the bald man. Feel a little bit bad for Black Dama. It's like his favorite card. But I really don't feel bad that they nerfed Prof X, because I think the game is just a little more fun kind of without him in it.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
go ahead.
Guys, you still can get Jeff in there. You can get Nocturne in there. You can get Vision. Like, you can still do a lot of things. It still blocks Hela off of a lane. Like, even though we're going to talk about her here in a little bit, like, I don't know that it's like dead. I mean, it's just different.
Here's okay. Let me give my quick argument why I think it's kind of dead.
All right, hit me.
Jeff is like 60% play rate, so
Okay.
you might have a Jeff, but you're also playing against one. Nocturne's like 30+%. So you're going to be playing against these cards that can move into your Prof X lane, and you're playing like a 5/2. It's not even discounted anymore. So I just think, if they have anything that can move on their board, Nightcrawler's out there, like anything that can move, you're in a world of trouble as the Prof X player. Playing against somebody with cards that can move, which, again, Nocturne, Jeff, like every deck, basically. And so I just think that's just a really, really, really tough spot to be in. Maybe if those cards get adjusted, maybe it kind of comes back a bit. But I think as, kind of is right now with this Kitty, Angela, Nocturne, Jeff, bullshit, Elsa, it's just really, really, really tough. And, I don't know. I can't see myself playing a 5/2, and they can still move in there and beat me anyway. I just that sounds I can throw Thanos in there, I guess, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'm a little less optimistic, or like I'm a little more optimistic than no big deal. I'm more on the side of Obi. He's definitely worse. He's definitely bad right now. I think people still have to adjust. I think this was really elegant nerf because they still made it so that like Obi said, Hela. If she starts to get out of control, this still kind of curbs the Hela deck a little bit, which is nice. Unless they're playing Hela on 5 after Corvus, but shit happens. But I think this will open the door. This change for some more creativity. Yes, with like Thena, Angela, a lot of early scalers now, Prof X loses a lot of value, and especially now that you can't cannonball and kill those big cards, they just move into the Prof X lane. Yeah, he's much, much worse, and then the Ravona synergy is taken away. He's definitely a worse card. He's a different card. The Heimdall stuff is kind of cool. I wonder if if people are actually going to do stuff like that. If you play him in Thanos, you can still whip down the big boy Thanos in there if the Space Stone's down. I really like the change because it was kind of annoying playing against a lot of Prof X's, but I also didn't mind playing the deck as well, so I was part of the problem. But
same here for sure. Yeah.
I loved playing him. It was good. But I'm happy with this.
Wins
change
are wins, boys. Don't feel ashamed.
Yeah, exactly. But the meta, that's better. This is way better for the meta, man. I'm real happy about it. The point of the game.
I think his play rate's going to go down. I still think he's a playable card. I like what they did.
Yeah, I think he'll be playable in a different way.
Right. I hope you guys are right. I think it's a dead card. I just think it's a 5/2. You're asking a lot. Like Adam Warlock's a 5/5. This is a 5/2. It used to you just win. Like you play it and you just know that you won, and usually you're snapping beforehand. So it's like I at least get 2 cubes. Now it's like, man, like what if they just move in there? What if they play Spider-Man? Let's just play Spider-Man.
Well, you just got to build around it, right? Like you plop it on
Silk.
I don't know, a Martyr or something like that. Well, actually, no, Martyr doesn't even work. She'll move out of the lane.
Captain Marvel.
I didn't even think about that.
Captain Marvel would
exactly.
work. Silk will work. So all these little cards that if you just throw them in, I don't know, he might be good to lock down a lane in a movers list. Maybe not. Maybe you put him on one of the scalers like Craven or put him on Thena. Then you play your Thena, then you could play the Prof X on him. But yeah, 5/2.
Havoc still
5/2
works.
is garbage.
Throw him on a what's the 4-cost card? Rescue.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the classic. Yeah, or Tuma and Rescue. Yeah, the classics.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, will it work with Atuma now? Atuma will still die, right?
No,
lockdown can't be added, removed, etc. So I'm assuming lockdown means also.
But can they die in there?
I don't think so, but maybe.
It says moving is the only way to add or remove a card here. Can they still be killmongered and can they still be killed? That's an interesting question, actually.
I hope not.
Man.
I hope not.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with no, but I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, something to test out, But yeah, I don't know. I like this change. I'm happy with it, man. I'm happy with it.
Moving is the only way to add or remove a card here. So I would say destroy is not really remove. So yeah, I don't know. yeah, I still don't know. Even after that.
Thing to note with this, that doesn't mean exchanging sides either. So
Right.
if you had a Titania on there and then you somebody jeffed on the opposite side, the Titania is swapping to the opposite side.
Yeah, goblins too, right?
Yeah, goblins too.
Yeah, it's a nice, elegant change. I like when they do that stuff. Cannonball. So Cannonball, they were just really heavy-handed on this combo here. Cannonball took a little bit of a stray. He's a 5'8". He's a 5'7". I think they just basically said in their paragraph here that they're like, yeah, this might be a little bit harsh, but fuck it, we don't want anyone to play this combo anymore. We're done with it. We might add it back later. So, what do you guys think about the Cannonball change?
Go ahead, Obi.
Yeah. So, pardon me. I think the Professor X Cannonball synergy is probably gone, right? But Cannonball's still a good card. It still wins you a lane. With regard, I mean, you have to worry about where the other card's going right now, and maybe you have to adjust it by playing like Kingpin or something of that nature that negatively affects the card that you're moving out of the lane. 1 point of power it's typically big, but I think for this card in particular, because it's removing a card from your lane, it's not going to be you're typically going to be shifting more power than what you've lost with this change. So the card's still going to do what it's meant to do, which is knock out the highest power card in the lane, and you're still going to be winning by a lot in that singular lane. Will that win you the game now? I don't know. Maybe we're going to see a lot more Cannonballs on 5 as opposed to 6. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I like that take. I agree. He's winning the lane regardless. Like, you play him to just knock out the big guy out of the lane. The 1 power shouldn't matter too much unless Gladiator actually the Chad takes out Cannonball now. So that's one thing to think about. I don't know how often that'll happen, but it can happen. He's a Gladiator. Wild. He's Gladiator fodder now.
It's moved though.
Yeah. The Gladiator shifts to another lane and then blasts him from across the board.
That's great, actually. But yeah, I think this is one of those changes where, again, I don't think the 1 power will matter, and I think they're just doing it to dissuade people from playing this card.
Shout out to the 1 power that was added to Gladiator, because that transformed that card.
Yeah.
He feels so much better at a 3/8 than a 3/7.
Oh yeah,
it's night and day.
Preach.
Yeah, we had a lot of talks about this months ago when Gladiator came out. Yeah. Nobody feels like the fucking card's broken on a 3/8.
As a 3/7 ship, a 3/8's broken, and I'll die on the hill. That was what before the data mine were saying. But yeah,
I mean that probably was true back in the day, before 8 months of power creep here. So
I did also think it was killing devil dinosaurs and stuff when I said that, but. Anyway, it's still really good at 3/8, but we've talked about that a lot. Cannonball. I agree with you guys on Cannonball. I actually like this change a lot. I kind of think of it. Cannonball's kind of the new Shang-Chi right now. This guy just removes the big power thing in the lane. Shang-Chi kind of does the same thing. Cannonball's a little more reliable. He's not a 4/3. 4/3 was great when you had Zabu. You could play it as a 3/3, play it in the last turn. Played alongside a Darkhawk or something ridiculous like that. We don't have any of this stuff anymore. So I thought the last OTA, we're going to go Cannonball to 5/6 or something. That's what I expected them to do for the Prof X change, because clearly the Prof X Cannonball stuff was way too strong, and they already nerfed Prof X. So moving them 5/1, I figured, okay, let's move Cannonball down to a 5/6. Maybe at that point the person gets enough power out by turn 5 that they don't just kind of auto lose to this combo. You take enough power off of it. But I think regardless, to Obi's point, I think Cannonball 5/8 was an unbelievable card, phenomenal card. New Mutant was on this from day one, but I didn't catch on right away. I didn't buy this card right away. But yeah, I think at a 5/8, Cannonball is insane, and I actually like it at a 5/7. I think it's a good change.
Yeah, it's cool. And I still see it. I still see it out there. I mean, we're recording on Saturday, so it's been a couple days since the OTAs. So he's
let me throw out. People think this is a dead card. I'm just going to shout out Dr. Octopus. You don't need to Prof X, man. Just play Doc Ock. You do some Red Hulk magic, Baron Zemo deck or some shit. You play Doc Ock on 5, and the Cannonball now auto wins his lane because they have a clogged lane. So either it's going to move it to one that's inconsequential. So you like Shang-Chi on 6 on your Doc Ock lane or whatever if you need to win that, or Shadow King, whatever the hell you want to do, or Red Hulk on 6 because you have a Doc Ock and a Red Hulk in a lane. They have whatever was in their hand, and you just Cannonball the other lane. And that will do the same thing that it did with Prof X. It's the same Prof X Cannonball, but instead of Prof X, you just use the card Dr. Octopus, which is more fun, let's be honest. I mean, Doc Ock's hilarious, so, it could go wrong, it could go right, but my God, like, that card's wild. So you can still do the combo. You just got to use Doc Ock now. And that means you're not doing, like, this Ravonna kind of, build with all the Ravonna safety blade stuff. So it's just it's a different build, but you could definitely still do it. You still use Doc Ock.
Yeah, all the move cards that you talked about earlier being in the meta makes Doc Ock, that less likely to work as well. But, yes, I do love Doc Ock. He's hilarious. He has been pretty good. I played a few junk lists with him the last couple of days. He's been fun.
Yeah, like a junk build. Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys find that your Doc Ock has a tractor beam for enemy Shang-Chi's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good.
I honestly, like, even though there's like not that much Shang-Chi in the meta right now, I still find like Doc Ock it's like lit up like half the time. I'm like, what the hell, man? Who the hell's running Shang-Chi? I'm like, God. But I'll still play him. He's a fun as hell card. He's amazing.
What you think Doc Ock would be too strong at like a 6 cost? And then like you pair him with Kyra?
Oh, that would be hilarious.
I think it'd be a nerf, right? Because I think you want to play him on 5 generally, right?
I mean, you could if you ramp, right? You do a Electro or Corvus.
What do you think, like a 614
throwing out ideas,
or something?
right? Pardon?
Like a 614 or something, you're saying?
No, just leave him like exactly the same. Maybe you bump up a power, right? So he's like a 611 instead of a 610.
Just so that Kyra? Well, you can just run armor in your list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Slam him on
you
armor.
too.
I like him at a 5. I like having a turn to like deal with the mayhem that
Deal
you
with
just
it, yeah.
created.
That's why I like Magic too. Magic gives you 2 turns to deal with the Doc Ock. Yeah.
I like finding a creative way to clean up the mess that I just made on board. Where I'm like, oh, it's there. I pulled their Onslaught, Iron Man, and Tribunal. Very good.
Enjoy, U.S. Agent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll be talking about him later for sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm just now realizing that you guys both have sunglasses on, and I'm a little out of place. This is messed up. We gotta fix this. This is a big deal, right? Like so.
Oh
yeah.
Let's
go. Channeling your inner Corey Hart, baby. That's it.
Yes.
Wear your sunglasses.
These are the Iron Man glasses.
Oh,
Jarvis, tell me the good news.
Yes, I was like, those look great. Those look like high end like Prada glasses or something I'd see on like some sort of fucking gala. They look just too like nice.
Amazon's finest, boys.
Oh, bro, Amazon's the best. I love it. All right, now that we're in all proper attire here, we got Hela 6/6. Now it resurrects all your cards, and they have -2 power. Pretty cool change, I think. They didn't make her like a 6/2 or something, which I thought they were going to do, but -2 power for all the cards. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. I guess time will tell. It's nice that they actually have a knob that they can turn on the card now. If it's still too strong, they can make it -3. I know some people are putting Luke Cage in their decks. I've seen some Hela decks with Luke Cage the last couple of days.
Wow.
I don't know.
Don't do that.
I think that's coping.
That's coping.
But,
don't do that.
This seems like the MODOK Invisible Woman Tribunal with Iron Man list is a lot worse. The targeted Hela is still probably pretty good, but at least they nerfed her a little bit. I don't know. What do you boys think?
Go ahead, MBD.
All right. Well, look, I'm a Hela gamer. I love this card. One of my favorite cards in the game. I love this change. I think it's a great change, and I've been kind of clamoring for this for a long time on this podcast now. I wish the one thing with this change, and I'm really happy they did it. Like this OTA is an absolute banger. Like, let's be honest, this is a fucking banger OTA. Like, there are some heavy hits in here that I think are phenomenal, and this is one of them. This is a big deal. Taking power off of Hela. I wish they would have done this in February, and then we would have like 3 months of data to see if the numbers are still crazy on the holodeck, and then we can move her down to like a 6.2. I expected them to move Hella to like a 6.2 or a 6.3 or something like this, given that leader stat line, because the main weakness of the Hella deck, and especially as the Hella players, you don't know where the hell your card's going to end up. So the one thing you do have control over is a 6/6 body on turn 6, which is like pretty helpful. It's a lot more helpful than you would think. Like if you have a Lady Sif down, you have a Blade, like that's already 8. You can go up to 14 power in that lane, and then it's only one space left for one of your random chits to spawn. So you're kind of like really rigging the game, so you're like pretty much always going to win. And the 6/6 body lets you do that like really well. But if it's a 6/2, I mean, you're just all RNG now. Like, and the 6/2 is a liability. You almost just throw it in the empty lane. If it's a 6/2, like let's just throw it in a empty and just like let's see what happens.
Such
Because
disrespect for Hella.
it's even more
Get out of here.
And that's not great. It doesn't feel great as for the Hella player. Like the 6/6 gives you a lot of control. So I think you think about it, like -2 power on a Giganto. Is it 12 power Giganto or 14 power Giganto? Is probably still winning the lane. Like the Infinite 18 power is probably still winning the lane. But like on something like a Black Cat, like it's an absolutely massive nerf, right? Like you actually might just lose the lane now, where the 9 power would have won it for you. But Black Cat, who always discards, so it's like, do we take out Black Cat? Do we rebuild the Hella deck a little bit and maybe get some Silver Samurai blob type of shit going on? There's maybe some creative ways. Maybe Black Cat just comes out of the deck. I don't know. I haven't messed around with it. But pre this patch, I think Hella was like a really good deck, the Hella Blink deck. Even though not that many people are playing it, I think it's really powerful and really strong. And I'm happy to hit it. And if it's still too strong, I hope that they take power off the actual Hella's body herself, rather than nerf around it or totally rework the card. But I think this is a good start. I wish it would have started earlier because people get so mad about this card. But I'm happy they did it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the hate around Hella is that most of the cards in the game you can reasonably interact with it, right? Like up until recently you couldn't touch Dracula, but now there's like cards that can, right? We got the
Red Guardian,
Lady Delstrike, Red Guardian, exactly. But Hella, aside from Cosmo, which you'd have to guess, right?
Yeah, you need a
You have to.
there's
There's like nothing really that you could do to prevent the effect from going off. You either have to guess right on the Cosmo, or you need to guess right on your Goliath, right? And that's. I mean, at least for me, whenever I played Hella, it'd be like, Jesus, I just need something. Give me a way to like interact with it, right? Like if we're talking about a skill game, let me make a skilled read and try to at least knock it off the pedestal or shift something. I don't know. That was my biggest concern. This change I really like. -2 power across the board. I mean, if they're resurrecting 6 cards, dude, that's like -12 power across all 3 lanes. Like that's huge. Freaking huge.
Yeah.
You couple that with US Agent and then you're looking at what, -5 on all the bigs? Like, yo,
Yeah.
it's good.
6, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, and then even like the targeted Hella cards or Hella discards, they're doing like what, anywhere from 3 to 4, 2 to 4 resurrecting from the Hella cards. So you're getting -4 to 8 power basically from that deck, which is significant because there's a lot of decks that go tall. These new like Thena Angela decks, you can get 25 in the lane pretty easily. So yeah, it's definitely significant. Yeah, I think if it's still a problem, I agree with no big deal. Take power off the body. That way you don't have agency of where you can put your power. Just make it YOLO RNG Hella and let it be that. But this is good. I like this. I like this
It's a great
change a lot.
change. Good step in the right direction, I think.
Yeah, and I like how they nerfed Hella even after they nerfed Professor X, because like Professor X was the only thing kind of like keeping these Hella players at bay. And so that's why I thought the Professor X nerf was extra elegant, because it's just moving. So like it still cucks Hella completely. So it's great.
And Obi, just to hey, take it or leave it. I'll make you. I just as a hella spammer myself. Let me give you a tip on how to counter the deck, because you're right, it's not interactive, and that does seem to be people's main gripe with it. And I understand that. There's really no, like, you'd have to basically remove the card from the game or totally rework it, because it's just by nature just not an interactive card. You can't reliably Cosmo this card. You can if you have Jean Grey. But I would say that the typical counter to it, and especially now we have in-game, you could see like what they discarded, is you just build power as much as possible on 2 lanes only. Same as Tribunal, really. I mean, Tribunal deck's the exact same thing. You kind of make a judgment call. Okay, what did they discard? If it's just like, Jubilee, Black Cat, I don't know, Blink or something like that, it's like, okay, I just stack power in 2 lanes, stay in the game, take my 2 to 4 cubes, because they're probably going to snap because they have Hella, and then you could just beat them anyway. But if it's like an Infinite and a Giganto and a Black Cat, and it's like, okay, then you just retreat. So, I mean, that you're right, that's not interactive, but at least that's how I play it. I played a Hella guy first round of Snap Judge League, and I just kind of crushed him, because that's all you got to do to beat Hella. It was like just a 10-0 massacre. I felt bad, but it is what it is. We're playing the same Blink Hella list.
Sorry, random user, you got dumpstered.
Yeah, I don't want to shout out his name because I do feel bad, but yeah.
Don't say his name, poor guy.
Yeah.
And then I think Darkhawk stuff does decent against Hella too, right? Because they're drawing rocks.
Yeah.
They're kind of they're kind of getting screwed. So like,
Obi's point that you have to already be playing a Darkhawk list queuing into the match, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not, and then you Hella shows up, you're like, fuck. Here we go. So yeah, I get it. But yeah, the counter is definitely build 2 lanes, and I think again, if you hit her body, like you're gonna take that away even more. So. I don't know. Other than that, they'd have to totally rework the card, right?
Yeah, this is the most uninteractive card in the game right now, I think, personally, since Old Galactus.
Yeah.
Because Old Galactus, you wave on 3 and it's off to the races, man. You're like, if you have a counter, it's like 50-50 on the counter at best.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing you can do. Spider-Man and then, Null and Death. And
that's still the case, right? I mean, if you wave on 3, New Galactus still takes you for a ride.
You don't have like Spider-Man and stuff to completely lock them out and completely annihilate the game.
Yes.
I gave that man his 2 cubes. I just lost that earlier today.
Yeah. But also too, like Galactus went off no matter what last time or in the past. So now, there's so much early scalers and stuff, and he has 2 power? Like you have to, or 5 power.
5, yeah.
You have to have like 5. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's great. I don't know. I still love Galactus.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's nice that these uninteractive cards are actually getting nerfed because playing the game against people is fun. That's kind of why we play. Not to play against bots or play solitaire.
So I'm a guy that likes to play cards, right? Like I like decks that let me throw down a lot of cards, pick a lot of cards back up, throw down a lot of cards. So like there are people that like that singular, like I'm just going to play this one very impactful card every turn and I'm still going to win. And like, that's like a lot of fun for them. And like Galactus decks, Sandman decks,
Long.
Right. All of those kind of feed into that. Exactly.
Yeah. So at least those are counterable though,
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Good. I'm glad that Hella has more knobs to change. Yeah, Hella's cool. Ebony Blade just taking strays here. Was a 4-0 ongoing can't be destroyed and its power can't be reduced. Now it's ongoing can't be destroyed. So Shadow King buff, I guess, and I guess Ebony Blade gets owned by Jotunheim. Any like negative zone, Necrotia, those kind of locations. You can't just throw it in there and expect it to not.
Hey, Obi, shout out U.S. agent. -4 now, babe. That's a -4 now.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, I don't get this change. I don't think Black Knight was like amazing card. There were some really good decks with it. Don't get me wrong. I don't know. I'm fine with it. I'm not like mad about it. I don't play that much Black Knight. But sure. I think that's my.
I think the gist of it is if you get a 420 that can't be interacted with at all, it's just, and it's 4 cost 20 power. You could throw in any lane, and boom, okay, I just win this lane. That's a little bit too strong. We gotta we gotta have some way to interact with the things the opponent are playing.
Yeah.
And I like that Second Dinner is taking that into consideration, because that's, I think, the best part of Marvel Snap is the interplay, right?
Yeah.
Like, let me see what the guy's doing. Let me assess the board state. What counters do I have to make sure that I'm flipping whatever he's doing in my favor? And you just couldn't do anything with Ebony Blade. It was just a big fat stat stick that whatever you did just stayed there. Assuming then, you enchantressed it, or he threw it on an echo, and then you can interact with it. But that's too many steps for a 6-turn game.
Yeah. And I like too that Second Dinner, they're being smart because everyone hates Shang-Chi, and no one's really complained about Shadow King ever, but people always complain about Shang-Chi, so they went with they kept the can't be destroyed, so that Shang-Chi can't get him. Yeah. No big deal. What do you think, dude?
I like this change a lot, actually. So like I said, it's a banger OTA. I think they're crushing it. I think this was a really strong deck, and I think the thing too is maybe they're going a little bit big brain here, but I think maybe they're thinking, okay, we're nerfing Hela, but the natural thing is, okay, what if we take our Hela decks and just kind of slightly tilt them more to the Black Knight Hela build, which was already like a pretty powerful build, but it kind of leans more into the Black Knight stuff, leans more into like good card type of stuff. So I think that's like a natural transition for the Hela gamers. So I think this card was absolutely cracked, the Ebony Blade specifically, and it was dog shit when it came out, and then they totally overcorrected it and made it completely busted. And now I actually think this might actually be a really good spot. It's like you have a counter, and I like that you can counter with, like you said, like US Agent or something too, or throw a Cyclops in the lane and it'll actually do something, like a high Evo Cyclops, right? So I think it's a hazmat, whatever, right? So a really good change, and I think like you bop the Hela deck and the Black Knight deck pops up. It's like, okay, let's just bop that. We bop the Prof X. But now Hela's going to go rampant. Okay, well, now we got to nerf Hela. Well, okay, now the Hela gamers are just going to go play the Black Knight shit. Okay, well, let's nerf that shit too. I actually love it. And I think like that's just good, tactful, strong OTA-ing this time. Cause I've spent a lot of these episodes shitting on these OTAs, just a bunch of bullshit. So I got to shout them out. They're doing a great job. I think this is like so far really smart, intelligent, good OTA changes. And I love it. It's great.
Yeah, I like him. It's nice that when cards get nerfed, that we can be happy about it, or like not mad about it, because sometimes they do these dumb changes. We're like, what are you doing? Like Shuri 4-1. It's like, all right, yeah.
And to Obi's point, like 420, that can't be Shang-Chi. I mean, you still take that. That's a pretty sick card, right? So it's not like you don't neuter the card here. It's still a good card.
It's a great card, yeah. Mm-hmm. Red Hulk, they decided to hit again. He was a 6-9 when your opponent ends a turn with unspent energy plus 4 power. Now he's a 6-10 when your opponent ends a turn with unspent energy plus 3 power. Is this the one? Is this the change I said initially?
Well. They all roads lead to the kid.
Yeah, I think that's the exact thing I said, because he was fucking ridiculous when he first came out. I think we said that immediately.
Yeah.
And if we learned anything from the Blob, we saw this card, we're like, this is fucking ridiculous. This card. Plus 4 I thought was always too much. I thought it was wild that after like waiting one turn, he's already better than Giganto.
Yes.
Arguably, he's still like that with the 6-9 plus 4. I mean, 6-10 plus 3 is kind of almost like that too. But at least waiting 3 turns, he's not an Infinite. He should not be better than the Infinite. If he starts in your hand and they skip 4 times, then sure, I'm happy with him being better than the Infinite. But like, he should not be a 6-20 after waiting 3 times, and even. What was he before? Like a 6-17 after waiting twice on the old one? That's a 6-9. That's insane, busted. Man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it just got too big.
I like this change. Yeah, I like this change a lot. He's still a big stat stick. He's still a great card. It's just like now you don't have to be like, oh, I'm just putting in Red Hulk in my deck. Now you can be like, oh, okay, like, do I want to disrupt them and put Magneto? Do I want to spread power and put Doctor Doom? Stuff like that, right? So I think it's cool.
Yeah, it is funny because, especially if you got all like Marvel Snap shit on your like YouTube algorithm, right? These cards are coming out, and sometimes the content creators are like divided on them, right? Like Legion's coming out, like some people say it's sick and broken, some people say, oh, this is like dog shit, you're never gonna play this, right? And so sometimes it's ambiguous, but like a card like Loki, even way before it came out, we all knew that was ridiculous. And Red Hulk's one of those cards where everybody and their mom knew that Red Hulk was just going to be absolutely absurd, and everybody knew on the last OTA that it we're taking 2 power off. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's not even close to enough to addressing the main issue with the card. Like, they have to take off way more power than they did on the last OTA. So it's nice to see them finally get it right. I don't know why it took them this long. They should have got this like in development of the card. I don't know why it took this long, but again, happy they did it. I'm not complaining why things take so long. I'm not greedy. When we get it, it takes 5 months. I appreciate it. I saw draft mode in development. I guess we'll get to that later, but that's fine. Like that could be a year from now. Let's go. Like I'm fired up about that. So like this is great. They did it, and I think it's probably like a fine card now. They could probably leave it alone on this if I had to guess.
I've been calling for a +3 change, +3 power change for a while now. I'm of the believer that a card shouldn't single-handedly have more than 25 power. That's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, and you don't have to do anything for Red Hulk. He just sits in your hand and gets super big. Like there's no, like you don't have to go through multiple steps. There's no like Shuri into like another big card. Like none of that. You can't even get Angela that big. Like if you like spammed her lane every turn with cards, it's like what? Like here's just like a big fat 627. What are you gonna do with that? Like that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's true, dude. Like when he first came out, he was like reliably above 20 power. Like he was 23 all the time. Yeah. All the time. And even twice was a 619, which is insanity when he first came out. And it's like, didn't we learn from the Blob when he was like a 650, a 670 every fucking time with Thanos? That was like, we shouldn't be having these massive cards that just you don't have to do anything and they win a lane by themselves. Like that's
crazy.
Not a way to play the game. So finally, this is the +3 is so much better. He's still a good card. He's still great. Like a 616 is a sick card. Yeah. Like that's Orca, but like you could play him with other cards.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be alone, and then it's not like Giganto where you only have to play it left or Infinite or you have to skip a turn. Like this still a legit card, So
I still think Orca needs more power based off of his restriction. But with Namora now in the game, maybe not. I don't know. I didn't pick up Namora. Did you guys get her?
No, I thought Namora was shit. I was like, no.
Oh no!
I mean, I know people like Safety Blade have been having a lot of good success with Namora, but I mean, he's like a top ladder player. He's really good. So
right.
I haven't seen too many other Namora lists that have been doing good, and I think I lost to a Namora list one time since the card came out, and I retreated for 1 cube. Because it was so telegraphed. I'm like,
I was looking back at my old messages because I have like a Snap Creator friend chat, and one of my friends was just hating on Red Hulk. Hating on it, like this is a garbage card. And I'm like, oh yeah? And so like my very first screenshot after buying it, he was 627.
That's wild.
And I said, same game, casual 27.
Yeah. It's wild, dude. This card was so wild. Me and No Big Deal were exchanging screenshots the entire day it came out. We're like 620, 620, 623, 623, 619, 623. I'm like, bro, I drew this card on like turn 4, and now he's like 23 power because they spent energy. It's like this is ridiculous, man. He was insanity.
Yeah,
I can't like I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how people after Blob especially. Like I understand, like kudos to No Big Deal. I'll give you some flowers here, dude, because you were the one that said Blob was going to be absolutely ridiculous. I didn't think he was going to be that ridiculous, but he was ridiculous, and especially after that card, like they should have learned that like these massive fucking cards are just really good.
I'm going to talk about that a little later when we get to Sersi, but yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yes. All right. Red Hulk, good change. I like this change, and the card's still good. I think the card's still
very good.
Yeah.
He's still going to get stupid big.
Yeah, 100%. Gilgamesh. Here we go. The season pass card. What is it? Like 2 weeks in, there's like this guy.
This is wild.
Five,
This is wild.
Right?
5'7" to a 5'9". I think they said like his cube rate was shit. He was bad.
This is the second week.
Yeah,
Like the season just started, dude.
They weren't wrong. He wasn't great at first, but yeah, like we didn't have time really to play with him too much. But I don't know. They want the season pass card to be, good. So I'm fine with that.
I want people to buy the season pass.
Yeah. What do you guys think about this change?
It's better.
Yeah.
I still think he's missing something off the top. Personally, they have him geared as like a big fat stat stick, and while the 2 power increase does help, you're still only getting +1 for anything that has green power on the board. So at the let's say you max out everything, right? He's only going to get +11. So I mean, he is a 520, but to achieve that is so incredibly difficult. And like, why struggle for a 520 that takes so many steps, right? When I could just, to my point, like we just talked about, toss down the Red Hulk, right? Toss down the Blob. It's typically more power anyways.
Yeah. No, I agree. No big deal.
I think it's a good card, man. I might have to disagree. Actually, I don't know. I think that that 2 powers like matters a lot that they just added to it. The fact that it's base 5'9". To your point, Obi, I don't think you're really getting him to 20. I don't look at this guy as like a 20 power card. To me, he's like a 517. But a 517 is pretty sick. That you could just slam in the lane. And last turn of the game, you got like a 1 drop and a 5, which a lot of decks are kind of structured that way, right? 1 drop and a 5 at the end. Say it's like Ant-Man or something. Maybe that's the best case scenario, but you're playing some zoo deck, whatever, Squirrel Girl, Gilgamesh on the last turn, and I think you're basically slamming like a 517 on average on the board. The nice thing too is on games now where you don't get Blue Marvel. Like I've been playing a lot of the new Captain America, which we'll get to right after this. But so Captain America is boosting 3 cards, and you have like a Dazzler in a lane. Like that's 4. So even though you don't really nut, you got like it's still a 513 Gilgamesh, and that's enough to win you some games. So get some Kamartage, it gets absolutely insane. But that's obviously like a niche scenario. But if you want to play with Wong, then it's not a niche scenario, right? But then you do play Sage, do play Gilga. I don't know. I'm not the Wong gamer. I don't know that answer. But I do know like you're playing like some Zoo or some Thanos Zoo or something where you're putting a lot of cards on the board and a Blue Marvel. I actually think it's quite a good card now, and I think it was not a great card at 5/7, but now it's like I don't know. To me, it feels like a pretty good card, honestly.
Yeah, it's a nice stat stick, right? Mm-hmm. It's a Dark Hawk, it's a Devil Dino, it's a Ronin, it's a card like that, which is it's nice, sure. It's 5/9 is definitely like a better card than the 5/7 for sure, and
100%.
I think we'll see more play in him. I think we were gonna out of 5/7. I think if we gave a little more time, we would have seen him creep into a little more decks. And then, of note, I think some people asked why they didn't change him to be +2. Glenn answered that and said he was way too strong even at a 5/0 with +2.
Yeah.
They're like even at a 5/0 he was
ridiculous.
wild. Yeah, that would have been.
Yeah, I guess you have 10 cards. It's a 20, right? And then if you grandmaster it or something, then it's a 540. And you're just like, okay.
Yeah. So that's bizarre.
So I like that they're pumping up the season pass card. I'm happy for it. Let them sell those.
Gilgamesh actually is in the #1 deck right now, which is Zoo. Oddly enough, the #1 performing deck right now is Zoo. Mm-hmm. It's very good. He's better at a 5/9, no doubt. 5/7, he was le trash. Now he's serviceable.
Yeah. Zoo's pretty sweet. I'm sure we'll talk about Zoo when we get into the.
It's the Zoo meta right now, man. We're in the Zoo meta because of this and because of another card we're gonna get to.
Killmonger stats are
Let's talk about Captain America. So 3/2 now with 3/3. Good. I mean, I think this is the change we all wanted to see originally, with him affecting all cards, not just ongoing. But sure, he's a 3/3. Your other ongoing cards here have +2 power. So if you have a full lane of ongoings, he's a 3/9. He's better. 3/3 is better. Nice.
Yeah,
You, you,
I think this
go
is
ahead.
like a legit good card now. 3/9, like that's pretty easy. It's a conditional 3/9, but a pretty easy condition to meet. Pretty ridiculous, honestly, because again, we all you got to compare these cards to like Gladiator, right? Like which is the Chad, the 3/8, but sometimes loses you the game, right? So, but 90% of the time a 3/8. This guy is like 90% of the time a 3/9, and that's just ridiculous. So, but the problem is obviously it has to be all ongoing cards. So now you can only play them in a certain amount of decks, which is what we were kind of mad about when they first changed it. For me, the change I always wanted was to have them at the 3/2, but just take away the word ongoing. So your other cards here have +2 power, 3/2. I don't see a problem with that card. Conditional 3/8, I think that's good, and then you could play it in basically any deck. So the fact that it's only ongoing is still a bit of a bummer to me, but I've been playing these ongoing decks, and it's pretty sick. Like this card's popping off right now. Oh, also, rest in peace, Cerebro too. My God, I mean, we had like what, 2 weeks to play fucking C2, and they take away. Look how they massacred my boy. Like God, like just love pumping up the Cerebro and the Mystique, and you just throw a Captain America there. That lane becomes crazy, and that's all gone now. We had our own Valkyrie for 3 power. We had Valkyrie at home, and they took him away. But overall, obviously, I think a good card.
Man, fuck Cerebro decks. I don't care. I hate Cerebro. I hate that damn card. And I don't even think the best Cerebro 2 decks even had Captain America. I think that was just like like a pet. He was like a pet fucking inclusion in those
They
decks.
didn't know the sauce.
Yeah, okay. Obi, what do you think about Captain America?
Yeah, like you said, 3/9, fully powered up with other ongoings on there. If you throw a onslaught on top of that, that's huge, right?
Mhm.
Like you can win games with just Captain America, Claw, and Spectrum.
Mhm.
Like that's nutty.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
those
yeah.
are all like early pool cards, right? Like
Yeah.
I think Onslaught is in the first 2 pools, so is Cap, and so is Claw.
Mhm.
Like those 3 cards will just win you some games. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, no, these cards are legit now. I've been sending kids screenshots for the last 24 hours of just big ass Captain America lanes. Like they get up to like 30 power sometimes. It's ridiculous. There was one game where I just played I played Captain America Dazzler on turn 6. It was like a 17 power play. Like it was just ridiculous because like Blue Marvel's already out, and like it's just the guy played a demon. He was up 3 in the lane. He played a demon in the lane because he thought, yeah, if I go from 8 to 14 here, like what's he gonna do? Like Captain America Dazzler just like the lane's like 25. Like fuck you, buddy. It was ridiculous. It's a lot of power, like you said. You can sneak up on him.
Yeah. He's he's good in these ongoing lists. So it's nice to have the ongoing list have a little toy. So I'm happy they made him a little bit better because I don't know, I wasn't sold on the 3/2.
I
3/9
would have preferred
conditional.
it like they took out the ongoing restriction.
Yeah.
Right? Like just make him buff everything. Like
Yeah.
he's the number 1 protector. Make him be awesome. Let him live. He hasn't had a time in the sun yet.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But
I think he should be
guess-
3/2, get rid of ongoing, and then he's a 3/8, and then Punisher should be 3/3, +2 for all enemy cards there. So Punisher gets to 3/9 if you Jean Grey or something, or you're playing junk, you play Punisher, and then if you're playing like Zoo on your own side, you play Captain America. I don't see what the issue is, why we can't do that, why we gotta make these cards dog shit for 2 years, but here we are.
I think this is saying a lot with this OTA, but personally I think it's one of the spicier changes. This OTA we have Shanna or Shayna. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'll say Shanna.
Shayna.
Is it Shayna? All right, Shayna.
I have no clue.
I don't know. They're just fake characters anyway. She was a 3/2. Now she's a 3/4. Dude, this is pretty fucking cool. I played with her a little bit.
Yeah.
She feels pretty good, man, and especially just like Obi said, like the Zoo is taking over. Dude, this card is a staple in those decks. This is a cool change, man. What do you guys think?
What do you think of Shayna, Obi?
I think they waited way too long to do this for this card. Like, she has been languishing for a very long time, and these 2 points of power really just, throw her on the map. Even if you get stuck with like a low roll on the one in her single lane, like it's a 1-2, you're still adding 6 power to that singular lane on top of whatever you get in the other lane. So let's say you get a 0 in one lane, right? Like a little negative effect. Like, you're still dumping a ton of power on a 3-cost card. That's huge. I love this change. I think she's great. I think she works great in the zoo list, especially with Gilgamesh. I haven't tried to sneak in Mockingbird just yet because I found that just having like Khazar, Blue Marvel, all of those other buff cards in the list is enough to get you through, get you enough stats to win.
Yeah, no big deal. What do you think, dude?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great change. I think what happened was, we saw this with the 4 drops. It wasn't that long ago that Zabu wasn't a dead card, and he was like, one of the best cards in the game, right? And everybody like realized pretty quickly that like these 4-drop cards that you play for 3, they get you like 14 to 20 power each. And I think like Second Dinner actually thought White Queen was the baseline for a 4-drop. Like, I don't know, they have this weird idea in their head, like, we can't buff White Queen, like she's a 4/6, like what happens if White Queen's a 4/7? Like, oh my god, like pool 1 players are gonna riot, like like too good. It's like 4/7 White Queen, So I think like because they had the baseline in their head that like 4-drop was like say Jessica Jones, like a 9, right? Well, the 3-drop can't be better than that, right? Because that's busted, right? So my 3-drop can't be like 9 power, and if I play a Shayna, each 1-drop's gonna average 2. So you're dropping 3 drops down. So their logic is 3/2. I drop 3 ones. That's a 3/8. That's the same as Gladiator, and Gladiator doesn't give your opponent a card potentially, right? So in their head, they're thinking like, okay, we're like balancing the game. They're going wide, and you got this kind of like Doctor Doom like effect. For 3 power, we can't make it too strong because Doctor Doom's really strong, right? So I think that's what they're thinking. Obviously, we know that it's a really stupid way of thinking. And like it's the 2 things are not equal to each other here, but like I think that's what was happening. So I think they're finally like, okay, like, and they've started to really come around on these 3-drops now. There's still a few that got left behind though. Like you got cards like Groot that are still just like poor Groot, man. Like he's just in the struggle. Like, oh my god, like so Groot full power Groot is 7. Like
pouring out.
This is ridiculous, right? Like Punisher's still like that, right? So Rhino's a 3/3. Like, what are we doing? Strong Guy they fixed. Like, they fixed the card like Strong Guy because Strong Guy was kind of like that. Now Strong Guy is kind of interesting. So they're starting to correct the design problem that they I think created when they made the game, and all the cards kind of had the same where they thought 3/4 was the vanilla stat line on the 3-drop. I think that's what happened, and it's just not.
Yeah, and then also too, like taking up 4 spaces on your board is no joke, dude. That's
it's bad. It's objectively a bad thing to do. Yeah,
it's horrible, especially if you get screwed with like an Ebony Maw or something like that you don't want. I don't know. Shannon's just an interesting card, and then these cards with the RNG, they're fun. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like seeing what you're gonna get, like getting a 0 and it turns off your next card, or just stupid shit like that happening is always hilarious.
Blade like discards some bullshit that you actually needed in your hand.
Yeah, like your Khazar. So like it's fun, and you could also have a Black Knight and then a Blade, and then you get an Ebony Blade.
There you go.
So you spawn an Ebony Maw on like an empty name, like yikes.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun. I don't know. I like Shanna. This is a good change, and she's actually been fun to play around with. So it's definitely a card that like they revamped, and so we could play with it. It's good. It's like getting a new card.
She's a very real card right now, yeah, which is awesome because she never was.
Yeah,
Shanna feels great.
Yeah, and then the last one here, Stegron. I don't think anyone saw this one coming. 4/6, the elusive 4/7 stat line here, the Hercules stat line, the broken stat line. I actually really like this change. He's now on reveal. Move an enemy card here, 1 location to the right. So you actually get, the targeted move, and they gave him a power. 4/7 is actually pretty good. And what do you guys think about this?
So when I immediately saw this, I was like, all right, let's go cook. And I was like, Kingpin, Juggernaut, Cannonball, Polaris, like anything that, Arrow that can move something into the Kingpin lane to give it negative. And I'm like, this is going to be amazing. Now I got, and yeah, it just wasn't amazing. We need more of this. Like, it's good, right? It's better than it was, right? You can put Stegron in something that's not targeted to like move cards into a particular lane. Like, that was my fault. I shouldn't have built a list like singularly minded to like try to shift everything into a singular lane. He's kind of like Cannonball on a lesser scale, right? You can't control which car he's going to pop out, but 7 power and you're removing something from the enemy as well. That's significant.
Yeah, and cheaper, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know where it's going, which is pretty good. I did play him. I was playing him. I took the more of a junk approach because I like being a filthy junk player. And then so I was like trying to if you play like White Widow and Green Goblin, they usually already have a card in that lane, so you can clog them pretty good. Just with Stegron. But I found he was very underwhelming for me a lot of the time. Every time I wanted to play him in that list specifically, I'm sure there's better lists for him. There was other things I wanted to be doing instead. So he was one. It was a card that I like that they buffed him, but he was just underwhelming to me in the lists that I played him. But I'm happy that they are trying this, and anything that is targeted, that brings less RNG to a card that's bad is a good thing. So I like this change. No big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both you guys actually on this one completely. Number one kid was not on my bingo card, the old Staggy. To Obi's point, I don't think it's very good still, but it's still cool that they did it, and it's cool in theory and it's targeted. I just think it's really hard to invest 4 power without Zabu in the game in a card. It better have just an absolutely absurd effect, or else I'll just play Elsa Kitty or something it's just better, right? So
Right.
These Jubilee, right? If I play a Jubilee on 4 and then I blink on 5, that's unbelievable, that's a crazy turn right there, right? Because it's worth playing the 4. I play a Dracula, he could get to 20 power, that's worth it. Old Sentry, that's potentially 20 power, right? So there's a very impactful 4s that you can play. And I just think a 4/7 that's moving to the right is just not gonna cut it. So you need these guys. The deck's called little movers. The movers got to be small to you can play a bunch of them, ping pong shit around, and really fuck the board up. So it's tough. 4/7, you might need a little bit more, but really cool change. And I'm happy they did it, man. Buff the bad cards. Why not? What do we do? And they give them 2 buffs. It's targeted and they give them power. So I think that's great.
Let me ask you this. If they would have coupled the move with a negative power, the card you move gets -1 as well,
Ooh.
do you think that puts him on the map?
Maybe.
I still don't think he makes the deck, but maybe -2. Maybe -2.
Okay. What if they made it 3 power? 3 cost, sorry.
Ooh.
A 3/7 with this ability.
Oh,
Which isn't unheard of.
I think
the ability isn't all that crazy, right?
Yeah.
You could be hitting out a 1 power card.
A 3/7 with this would be crazy, I think.
Yeah, I think that'd be sick. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really,
I'd be playing
really
some stag round if it was 3/7 for sure, 100%. Fire up the old staggy.
Yeah, I think this card is let's give it a couple weeks and see, because you got guys like Hoagland who just love this kind of stuff. He was playing Stegron unironically, and he made some pretty good decks. So I think let them cook with these.
Yeah.
And see, but yeah, him losing a moving card and losing a power, that's actually interesting. I think that's a cool concept. I'd be for it. I don't know if it would make Stegron relevant. Maybe it would, but I don't know, dude. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, they gave him 2 buffs. Shout out second dinner, man. This patch, look at all these changes are banger changes, man.
Yeah.
There's usually some horseshit side grade, just unnecessary rework, take a power off Lady Deathstrike for no reason. There's always something, but this one just every change, banger all around the board.
Yeah, man, this OTA is insane. I loved it. I was so happy. If they're all a fraction of even half this impactful, I'm happy with it, dude. It's great. And they go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say they hit all the problem cards that we had at the moment,
Yeah.
and then they brought up like old stuff that was just being left in the dust. I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. And they didn't dance around the problems too, like, nerfing the collector when Loki's a problem, right?
Mhm.
Like they actually said, all right, Prof X, fuck you, we're done. Hella, fuck you, we're
Hella.
done. Cannonball, you're cool, but fuck you too, kind of thing.
Yeah.
One power off. So like they actually like, nailed everything, and it's good. And the meta's been fun as hell, man, recently. The last couple of days. Let's get it. Let's talk.
F you,
Yeah,
you're cool. F
exactly.
you, I'm out.
Yes. That's great. Let's talk about the new card that came out, Sersi in the meta. Recently, Sersi came out on Tuesday. She's a 5/7 on reveal. Transform your other cards here into random cards that cost one more, if able. No big deal. Why don't you tell everyone what you thought this card was and
I was
how
gonna
you
ask
bought the
Obi.
card?
I was gonna ask Obi what he thought first, but okay. So this I just want to set the stage here. All right. So this is my most anticipated card since Blob. Okay, I was
Really?
fired up for Blob. Like I was so excited. I was thinking, like 2 months before Blob was coming out, I'm like, I could put him in Ramp. I could put him in Thanos. I could put him in Hela. Like I'm just gonna fucking put a 70 power bomb. I don't even care if he gets Shang-Chi. Like I'm gonna have a blast. Taskmaster. Like what are we gonna do? Like this Blob card. Like I was just I don't care. Like Firestar was coming out the same month as Blob. And I was like, fuck the Firestar. Firestar's gonna be sick. Like that's great. But yeah, pour one out for Firestar.
Yes.
One of these days. But like, I'm like, I don't even care about the Firestar. I know everybody likes that one. I'm ready for Blob. Like, let's go. It's gonna be Blob time. And this was my next Blob card because I thought, and I talked about this a lot on the Felicity pod. To quote myself, I got a fucking board full of sixes. Like, what are you gonna do? Unless one of them's destroyer, right? Then you're fucked. But like, I got a board full of sixes. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, I won Sersi, my whole board sixes. It's over. Like, it's GG. Because I didn't know that the card said transform your other cards here into random
You
cards.
thought it was global?
Yeah.
Oh my
I had so many decks. I've been building decks for months for this card. I literally had 3 of them like preloaded with one spot empty, so I could put Sersi in. Like I thought June was the best month of the year because Arshem looks super fun, and I like Sersi even better than Arshem. If obviously it affects the whole board, So I'm also a little confused why like other people weren't talking about it as much. But I really questioned
I think if she had that ability, everybody would have gotten her, dude.
Yeah, the guy sends me screenshots of that. He's like, "What the fuck is this?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Did they change her text?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
So
It's like I thought it was the whole board.
thank God that for once I one tapped this card. So I did not read the text, and I rolled spotlight keys. And the even though I'm a moron and I don't know how to fucking read, secondary blessed me. The snap gods blessed me, and I got her in one key. So I'm excited for when she gets buffed. But man, fuck this. The fact that it's not what I thought it was means I can't look at it objectively at all. It's probably a fine card the way it is. I've played around with her a little bit, but she seems pretty good. But my God, what could have been? What could have been?
Obi, what do you think of this card, dude? What do you think of Sersi coming out?
I'm biased, right? I'm not a big fan of RNG. I like the cards to do what they say they're gonna do, and I don't want to be surprised. Like, I understand that some of the best value cards in the game are based off of RNG. I get that 100%. She's won me just as many games as she's lost me. I wasn't originally gonna roll on this card, and then I saw some interesting lists, and I was like, let me try. So I rolled. I got her on a single key too. If it would have taken anything else, I'd have been really upset. So thankfully, it only took a single key to get this card. I think she's a passable card. She's not a meta-defining card. And again, she's gonna win you games, but she's also gonna lose you some games.
Yeah,
And I think that's more 50. Like that balance is a little bit more even than Offset. If I had to put money on it.
Yeah, I would say she's a 5/7 RNG stat stick basically. I think she's been doing okay for me. You know, nothing crazy, but she's been fun. I've been having a lot of fun with her in the list that I play her, and like she's hilarious doing some of the and some of the highlights are just phenomenal as well. You know, you can't argue with that. Is she skippable? I think for sure she's skippable. I would say she's not required now, especially after they buff Gilgamesh. I mean, Gilgamesh is probably just straight up better than her. You know, and the sweet spot seems to be 3s to 4s and 4s to 5s. You know, people playing her with Sentry and stuff like that. 5 drops are just really good. So, you know, you can't transform any of the 3 or 4 drops into 5s. You're going to be having a good time with her. She's cool. And she did work on Prof X too, but, you know, Prof X is not a card that's played anymore. So, I don't know. She's a cool card. I like her.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
If you're a content creator and you're looking to generate good clips for your channel or Twitch or whatever, this is the card for you.
Yeah.
Because the outcomes are crazy, they're wacky. It is a fun card, no doubt. And there needs to be a place in the game to have these type of cards. Maybe it's not super duper competitive, but if you just want to like blow off steam, you know, you're sitting on the sofa and like, you know what, let me have some fun here. Let's try Exodia Gambit, or, you know, let me Sersi a bunch of crap and see what happens. Like, this, it's a solid card for that kind of stuff. I've gotten some of the best clips playing Sersi in a very, very long time.
Yeah. Yeah, she's fun, man. She's fun. I do like her. I think I got her in 3, but I was going for the Phoenix Force variant. I mean, I wasn't stopping until I got that thing, so I had to. I'm a Phoenix Force stan, so I was
you have the Fire Chicken version though?
The Fire Chicken? Yeah.
I think it's like the Stanley, not the Stanley.
The Pantheon one or whatever.
Or no, the Dan Hip version. It was in the spotlights.
Oh, like, yeah.
Several months ago.
Yeah, I do.
The kids probably got all the Phoenix Force ones, to be honest.
I have them all. I think except for the first
that variant.
Except for the first Spotlight one, I don't have. This one?
There it is. Nope, yeah. Dan Hip. Yep, there it is. Fire Chicken.
I even have the hip. I got the hip. What's it called? The Avatar Infinity Border.
All right, you're into the Force. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's a PF main for sure.
That's it.
Yeah. Yes. No, I agree with you guys on Sersi. You know, I did play around with her a bit. You know, after trying to emotionally cool down for 24 hours. And just completely scrap all my deck ideas. I did pick her up. You know, she definitely makes sense with the card Mockingbird. That's -3, right? So you're pretty much guaranteed a 0 power Mockingbird on turn 6 if you play Sersi on 5, right? So that's one thing she does really nice. She's also really good as a backup Annihilus. So if you don't draw your Annihilus, obviously you're playing Sentry at natural, synergy with her anyway. She moves the Void up to a 5 power. So, you're setting up the right lane. You have a hood, Void, whatever you want to throw over there. And then, if you don't draw Annihilus by 5, maybe Sersi on 5 and then something else on, Demon, something else on 6 can win you the game. I know Gnome was doing it with that, but Darkhawk, like Darkhawk bounce. So you do like a Korg Darkhawk or a Demon Darkhawk on turn 6. You Sentry or you Sersi the right lane. Demon Darkhawk, that should be able to win you a game, especially if you put some rocks in your opponent's deck. So there's definitely some stuff you can do with her. I agree with you guys that she's an easy skip. I think definitely skip her. If I read the card, I 100% would skip this card. 100%. If I knew that it said the word here, I'll be like, what the fuck? This is I'm not doing this. So, like I said, I've skipped a few cards, so this would be a no-brainer skip for me. This was just simply my most hyped card of the entire year. And so I was a little bit let down.
Yeah, reading's hard.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's rough.
It's rough out there. What kind? Let's get into some of the decks we're playing. I mean, just a couple. Before we get into the roadmap here, I don't want to waste all of Obi's day, but I just found this on Untapped. This deck just for the weekend missions because I think it's Jubilee, Sersi, and Brood, I believe. Mm-hmm. Right for the weekend missions.
Yeah,
This I just found on Untapped and won like within 5 games. It actually worked pretty good. Sunspot, Nebula, White Widow, Mysterio, Brood, Red Guardian, the Chad, Jubilee, Captain Marvel, Sersi, Mockingbird, Magneto. Magneto's a fun card, a lot of disruption. There's a lot of Wong shenanigans I see, so he's a great card for Wong. Captain Marvel's a pretty good card right now. And then we didn't talk about I don't think we mentioned Mysterio too. Mysterio clones you can Sersi as well into 3 drops, which are pretty good. Except
what a
if you
glow
get
up he's had, right?
oh my god, yeah, Mysterio has been insane the last few weeks, right?
He's
With
sick,
like
yeah.
the
He's been good
Mockingbird,
for a while,
Sasquatch, all the stuff.
Yeah.
It's great. But yeah, I've seen you get the old Sersi Deathlock once in a while, but that's all right. If on the Mysterio clone, you rolled the punches, but yeah, this deck was a lot of fun. You guys play like any specific Sersi decks or anything that you've been doing fun with it, or just kind of the same old crap?
Same crap that I talked about. Like Annihilus stuff is good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I messed around with some Mysterio and also Squirrel Girl lists, where you're just like upgrading a whole bunch of tokens type situation. I don't like RNG cards, so like I tried it out. It was fine. She did what she said she was gonna do. Was it like all inspiring? And I'm like, oh my god, this is the next coming of the new meta. No. So I just moved on to other stuff. I'm enjoying Gilgamesh and Zoo. I think that's super strong. It lets me play my awesome Khazar variant that I got back in January that I haven't been able to take off of the shelf. So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
And Zoo's pretty damn good right now.
Yeah.
No big deal. You got some spice for the people, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I want to talk a little Zoo. The classic, the Thanos Zoo. People forgot about Big Papa. And I was talking about this a little bit in the YouTube comments with Fingon. So shout out Fingon from Singapore. Iceman, all the boys in there, Sardines in there too. Everybody's talking, decks in the YouTube comments. So shout out to those guys. We kind of talked about it in there, but this is a hell yeah, brother. It's America deck. We got U.S. Agent and Captain America both in here. So that's a lot of America in one deck. It's Dazzler, Goose, Armor, U.S. Agent, Captain America, Cosmo, Jean Grey, Call Obsidian, Blue Marvel, Gilgamesh, Mockingbird, and Thanos. A little bit of a pay-to-win deck, I guess, but it's really fun. Like if you did spend on these cards, buyer's remorse. Well, you could got a place to play them now, so that's nice. And yeah, the deck's pretty sick. It gives you like a lot of control over the game. Like Jean Grey is extremely impressive. Armor auto wins against Destroy, but also can protect your 1-drops from you've got like a Dazzler lane and a 1-drop. Good to throw an armor in there. Protects your Call Obsidian, where like a card like Kaera does not protect your Call Obsidian. Another thing that needs protecting a lot of time in this deck too is Mockingbird with Blue Marvel is a 5/10 a lot of the time. So that's why I chose Armor over Kaera in here. But Kaera's probably fine too. I'm not saying she's bad. She also gets buffed by Captain America. So, Captain America just pops off in here. You set up a U.S. Agent lane and a Goose lane, and it's just ridiculous. And you could put the Jean Grey in either of those lanes. They don't want to play. You don't want to play into U.S. Agent. You don't, obviously separate your Goose and your U.S. Agent, but it's just really impressive. And if they have on reveals, I see people are playing Jane Foster again. Any turn 5 on reveal, Jean Grey, Cosmo, Hela, goodbye Hela. That's auto win against Hela. And so it's just really strong. And yeah, Gilgamesh is like an 18 power card. Thanos can go to 5 power. Mockingbird is close to a 0 by the end of the game. And you just output a surprising amount of power for a lot of with a lot of tech mixed in too. A lot of answers, proactive answers to what people are playing. It's a really annoying deck for your opponent. So yeah, man, I like it a lot. It's been doing really well. I went from the 3K to the 2K on the infinite rank with this. So we're almost not filthy casual, but still not top 1K, so I'm still filthy casual.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing better than me. I'm in the 10s, man. Well done.
The one interesting thing about this deck that I asked you about when you showed it to me was that no Spectrum. You have all ongoing, and you chose to leave Spectrum out. Why is that?
there's a lot of options. The first build had Spectrum. I think I took it out for Call Obsidian. It's just Thanos is Quicksilver, you know, and it's a new thing that's kind of weird and hard to adjust to. He's Quicksilver. He's always in your hand. Like, he's just sitting there staring at you, you know? So, like, a lot of time I just want to play him on 6, you know, because he's fucking there every time, 100% of games, and you can't escape him. And so rather than, like, try to fight it, my thought was, like, let me try to get these stones down, and now I have a 20 power card that costs 5. It's a 520, you know, 521 blue marble, and, you know, that's kind of nice. So if I play Gilgamesh on 5 and, you know, whatever, or Gilgamesh on 6, or, you know, and blue marble, or I could play, you know, Call Obsidian Stone and then Thanos. Like, there's just a lot of ways to put out a lot of power. And another big reason I didn't put Spectrum is because I do think Mockingbird is, like, really broken in Thanos, right? It's like, still, it was before, we were all complaining about it, and then it's like we all kind of forgot. Like, this card is ridiculous in Thanos. Like, she's so busted in this deck. Like, you don't have to try at all. Like, you don't have to put squirrels on your board. You don't have to put roll the dice Shayna. Like, you put, like, actual good cards on the board, and she's free. And it's like, it's ridiculous, and she's not an ongoing card, so Spectrum's not, you know, can't boost her. And neither can Captain America.
I like this list. I'm gonna be trying it out later. It looks
It's fun, man. It's fun.
Yeah, this is a cool one. I tried to tweak it too, like, because I wanted to try something different. When you showed me this, I'm like, let me just put in, like, Man Thing and stuff too. You know, Luke Cage, Man Thing. I tried to go that route. Well, it is fun. I think it's just strictly worse, honestly. Poor Man Thing. He is just so dependent on drawing Luke Cage because of the Infinity Stones. I just feel bad for that card. I just wanted to play it a little more, and I just did it, and I was like, this just feels so horrible if you don't draw Luke Cage.
Yeah, they nerf Luke, and they nerf Spectrum too. That's another thing. It's like, what, you know, why are they gonna nerf the boys there? So another thing I've been trying.
Spectrum's not a boy.
You know, she's one of the boys. So she's one of the ongoing boys. So
yeah.
Another thing, like, if you're running into all zoo, like the whole ladder zoo, which I just played this like an hour ago, and it was just a bunch of zoo. I'm trying out Super Scroll in the Call Obsidian slot. It might be crazy, you know, like, you could put a Khazar there, like, you could do it. There's just not that many 1-drops in the deck, so like, maybe if you do Khazar, you could do an Ant-Man, throw Ant-Man in as well. But Super Scroll is kind of interesting right now, but it's a pure meta call. But just, you know, by the time this vid comes out, keep that in mind. You might actually not need the Call Obsidian because you always have the Thanos. You always have the Gilgamesh for big power boys. So, you know, Super Scroll against another ongoing deck just auto wins you the game, obviously. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah. I want to say, like, a card that we haven't talked about that I'm surprised is not all over the meta right now that I've been throwing in a lot of my decks is Killmonger.
Yeah.
Because there are so many tokens. There's, like, all, you know, kitty decks, all the zoo decks. You know, there's Patriot decks with Ultron. Yeah, the Shanna decks. Dude, where's Killmonger? I've been cleaning up with this card, dude. It's insane.
I'm sure he's coming.
That's why I like this list here. That's why
Yeah.
I like this list, because even if your ones get plopped down, you still have power that you're not reliant on those ones, right? Like, you still have Captain America, you still got Cole, Mockingbird. These are big fat stat sticks. So even if you're playing Destroy, you don't, like, immediately fold. That's my one, like, issue with the zoo list is that, man, you run into a Killmonger. Yikes. It's spicy.
Yeah, that's why I like Armor. That's the main reason Armor's in here, right? Like, you turn a Destroy matchup that you normally get wrecked, and you just own them. It's hilarious. You know, they play Wolverine, you have priority because you're Thanos, and you snap, and it's just the freest 2 cubes of your life every time you see a Destroy player and you have Armor. So and honestly, even if you don't get Armor in this deck, and again, Jean Grey Cosmo, like, they can't do anything into that either. So, like, it's really, really good into Destroy stuff. But yeah, if it's like a random Killmonger, like they're playing like a tech deck and they just have Killmonger, like, you probably die. You could try to protect your stuff with Armor, but, you know, it doesn't always line up that way. So yeah, Killmonger, you know, it's obviously very good.
Yeah, I'm surprised we're not seeing more. I think we might see more of, like, the Sarah Control, Invisible Woman kind of stuff, you know, with the Sarah Tech, and then they, you know, hide Killmonger behind Invisible Woman, that kind of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some more of that pop up because, dude, I think Killmonger is a real good card in this meta. That's not played that much.
At least if I see an invisible one with this deck, I got a good boy that comes from outer space. Good boy Cosmo, throw him in there.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, this is one deck I made the other day, and it's more of a having fun deck, and more because I actually decided to buy a U.S. agent. I decided to nut up and buy him because I skipped him at first. I'm like, this card's garbage. Then they buffed him, and turns out, now that Prof X and Hella and stuff are nerfed, I think he gets a lot more value. A lot of people are playing the ongoing stuff. There's a lot of bigger cards around, so I kind of like. I'm like, let me just play a lot of little cards just to have fun and throw Killmonger in there. This is just Kitty Pryde, Echo, Angela, Havoc, Thena, Goose, Ravona, U.S. Agent, Sage, Killmonger, Luke Cage, Nocturne. You can replace a lot of these cards, just put lower cost cards, but this list is just a lot of fun because you just play a bunch of cards. You can even play Havoc and not even feel bad playing him on turn 4 because usually your highest cost card is the 3-drop. So you usually can play 2 cards every round and for 4 mana and do well. But yeah, I think I won a couple gold tickets with this, just messing around. And Echo actually has been doing some work in this meta. I've been sniping a lot of ongoing stuff. I didn't know what else to put in that slot. I'm sure there's better cards, like maybe I don't know, Nico. I don't know, Nico's so fun. I love Nico, but this has just been fun for me, just to play a lot of small stuff that scales. And then even if they Shadow King you, you have the old boy Luke Cage you save for turn 6. So it's pretty great.
Echo's been giving me some problems. I'm not gonna lie. I've run into her a couple times, and she's giving me some problems. I need like Reality Stone Call. I don't have a lot I could do about an Echo.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Like I've been running into some Jean Grey lists with this, and then they play Jean Grey, and then I snap because I'm like, I'm just gonna put the Echo there because usually these Jean Grey lists just play ongoing. So there was one game where I sniped, it was a Omega Red first, then it was a Cosmo, then it was a Mojo. I sniped them all. And they kept playing because they had to play in the Jean Grey lane. They're playing all ongoing, so it was hilarious. And then they gave me the little angry face, emoji on the, the Echo. But yeah, I don't know. This is a fun list anyway.
Her conceal skill is like plus 50, man. Like people just you could play her turn 1 and they'll still come back and drop an ongoing card on there just because they forget about her. So like, oh look, I won 2.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Any other decks you guys want to talk about?
Obi, anything in your limited thing? Like, what's your favorite thing you've been playing this week, Obi?
It's Zoo. I played Zoo last night on the stream, and it was the best performing list that I had. I've been testing out a lot of like I said, a lot of that mover stuff with Stegron and all the other movers. It's just I couldn't find anything solid with it. The Annihilist list with Sentry is still very, very good, especially when you toss in the Sersi for like added protection if you can't like get the Annihilus off or destroy it or whatever the case may be. Ooh, this looks fun.
Yeah. This was what I was talking about earlier. I played like a clog list and I just threw Stegron in because I thought it might be good. This list was good, but Stegron was underwhelming in this list. But I mean, Clog's just in a good spot right now. And then Doc Ock's just hilarious, man. This list is Nico, Titania, Thena, Grandmaster, White Widow, Ravona, Green Goblin, Sage, Debris, Stegron, Hobgoblin, and Doc Ock. Just an annoying list. I mean, Annihilus will get you if they have Annihilus and you have goblins on their side, so you gotta be careful about that. My goal was to clog them with White Widow, Grandmaster, Debris, Grandmaster, that kind of stuff, and then Stegron on 4 to knock something into the lane to clog them off. It worked okay, but there's a lot of I'd rather do. I found myself wanting to do other things than play Stegron on turn 4. So.
My favorite thing to do with a list like this is play Titania and then Green Goblin on top of her.
Oh, yeah.
And then just send them both over. It's like, deal with that now, buddy.
Yeah, my Titania playing is only when I have that combo or basically only on turn 6. Otherwise, I screw it up every time. Or if they're clogged. If I've successfully clogged them, then I'm like, okay, I can safely play Titania. But You know, you get those Sakar games that throw Titania on the board. You're like, oh, here we go. It's just like,
chicken dance. Yeah,
it's gonna be some nonsense. But yeah.
chicken game. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe
That's it for
maybe
the
get
meta.
Steggy out. You know, put a little cannonball in there. You know, a little Doc Ock cannonball. Boom.
It's probably way better,
Little
honestly.
go. It's awesome.
Yeah, I don't. The meta is great right now. I'm happy with the meta. Ever since the OTA, it's been insane. It felt like you could do
been very
anything.
good.
You know, when people are like, "Hey, I'm climbing with Zoo," I think that's a pretty good meta, honestly.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm pumped about it. Before we go, let's talk a little bit about the developer roadmap.
Let's do this,
because that was kind of some big news that we didn't talk about. You know, I'll just pull up here. There's a lot of people were kind of pissed about this. Honestly, this was their big IGN announcement. I mean, we'll give our thoughts, but you know, this was met with, I think, over like just all negativity. Basically, I didn't hear anyone really happy about this announcement. Everyone seemed kind of upset. So you know, we'll go through it and talk about it. Most people are really disappointed. We have the Snap development roadmap, which was their large IGN announcement. In the coming soon, they had Deadpool's Diner, improved technical performance, and custom card improvements. In the in development category, so coming soon usually means within the next couple of months, it's going to be in the game. In development usually means later on in the year kind of thing is what classically it has been. And then in concept usually means just forget about it because like, you know, it's just stuff they're thinking about that they usually never do. And so I kind of ignore that category. So yeah, coming soon was Deadpool's Diner, improved technical performance and custom card improvements. In development was Alliances, which they did tell us July 30th, I think, they were going to come out, release them. Yep. Leagues, new card mechanic, which I assume is Drain, and collectible Infinity Splits.
Oh, I don't think that's Drain, but yeah, we could talk about that when we get there.
All right, that's it. And then in concept is Draft Mode, which I will say they had stated a few months ago in the team answers that they're not doing Draft Mode because it loses money. And so now they're actually thinking about it because people are like, what the fuck, Second Dinner? We love Draft Mode.
Yeah.
So now they're like, all right, Draft Mode in concept, which still, you know, I'm still like skeptical. Card acquisition improvements and Alliances competition. What did you guys think of this? Obi, let's start with you, man.
Yeah.
Overall, what were your initial thoughts when this first came out?
Sadness. Well, hold on. Let me explain, right?
Yeah.
From just the roadmap standpoint, this is very positive. These are things that you should be excited about.
Yeah.
Right? But the delivery itself, right? They kept telling us, wait for the IGN announcement. And there were people that watched that IGN show for hours live, waiting, and they never got to see the Snap segment. After the show, they put it on the on their like you know, streaming. Like, here's the clip of the Marvel Snap segment, which was a fumble, right? Like, you made people wait to see this. You told them it was going to happen at a certain time. It didn't happen when you said. Yeah. And then it was never displayed live. So like, we wasted all this time, and the people that were super excited about it just got punished watching people play categories on IGN. Like, ew. So that in itself was like, ugh. And no offense to Second Dinner and the team that they sent there to like explain it and talk about it. But it wasn't as flashy as I was used to from a Second Dinner type announcement production. There was no video, you know, there like it was just slides and they had people talking, right? And then they tried to get like audience reaction, and the questions they asked they're like hard questions. This is a casual game, right? Like, you got Fred over there that maybe picked up a comic or two when he was a kid, but like loves the MCU sitting on the sofa, and they're asking like in-depth questions that somebody that, you know, needs to be going to the comic store every week to answer. Like, come on, you know?
Yeah.
So the delivery was bad, is what I'm getting at. Yeah. And it sucks because the content that they're delivering is amazing. right? Well,
Yeah.
like, so if we're gonna dive in, Deadpool's Diner is literally, here's a mode where we're gonna give you a free card. Like, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Free cards are like, that's unheard of in Second Dinner.
Yeah.
Like, we're giving you a free card. All you got to do is play.
Yeah.
We should all be like, yeah. But unfortunately, the delivery sucked.
Yeah.
It was so bad. Nobody even knew that you were going to get a free card.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, here's this new game mode we were talking about, Deadpool's Diner, that's only going to be happening for a limited time. So we're like, wait a minute. What do you mean it's a new game mode and it's only for a limit? That doesn't make any. How is that a new game mode, right? Like, so like there was all this confusion where we should have just been celebrating and singing from the rooftops. They've got this new interface where they can shuttle us free cards, and everybody was pissed. Right?
Yeah, and then to add insult to injury, they're like, yeah, and then to get this card, which we now know is the variant, but we'll talk about Deadpool's Down more. It was like, oh, you need 500 million bubs or something. They're like,
right,
well, that's a fucking lot. Like, we don't even know how the game works, dude. They're like, 500 million. Like, that's insanity.
For that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, is that gonna be $1 million?
Knowing that that's gonna be a bundle, you need to buy those.
Yeah, we're like, what the hell?
Bubs bundle.
Just all these positive things that they have, like, they can't get out of their own way. And the communication has gotten so much better since they hired the new community manager.
Yeah.
But even so, man, this was like a big fumble. Such a big fumble. You didn't have your best spokesperson out there to discuss the new things that are coming out. Like, Ben Brode is amazing. He's a talking head. I don't know if it was busy or he had a lot of other things, but have him record a video and show this stuff in concept. Like, show some gameplay, show something tangible when you have the opportunity. Like,
I agree. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I could talk all day on this. I was so upset about it, man. I love this game. It's why I got into streaming. I've had all of the success that I've had is from Marvel Snap, and I want to give back to that. But when they do things like this, this is something where you have an opportunity to reach an audience you don't already have. You don't show any gameplay. You don't show how the new modes work. You are just showing PNGs and words. Like, that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. And I will say, Guest Gaming has an amazing video on his YouTube that actually explains all this stuff. And I think the Second Dinner did put it in game as well. So if you go to the community tab in game, guest videos there that he actually goes through and explains everything, because I didn't know how half of the shit worked until I actually watched his video.
It's like 10, you watch the first 10 minutes, you're good. He explains it in the first 10 minutes of the video.
Yeah.
Go watch it.
And just as an aside, just to plug here, it's Guest Gaming, last guest on Deep Space Podcast by ObiHaved.
Yes.
So, we'll throw that out there.
Premiere's coming out on Monday, part 1, baby.
Oh, hell yeah. But yeah, so he put out a great video that actually explained this stuff. So like Deadpool's Diner is like a mode where you basically are playing Marvel. It seems like you're playing Marvel Snap, and then you can snap, like, I think probably every turn or something, or like turn 4, 5, and 6, the stakes get doubled or something, and then there's like different tables. So like your first table is like, you got to bet this many bubs, and then you get the different tables, but then you can't go back down to 0, and like your resources reset every 8 hours, and so you can grind and climb up and get free cards. The free card is at like 15 million bubs, and then like the highest is like 500 million, something like that. So it's like
for a variant of the free card.
For the variant, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like the free card's much lower. And they set it at a much more accessible level, but nobody knew.
No.
Nobody freaking knew. And come on, this is the free card mode, man.
Yeah, and I'm pretty dialed into Marvel Snap stuff too. Like, I try and keep up, and I even had no clue what the hell this mode was. I was like, what the fuck? What is this mode even? What do we even do? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
You know, I had no clue until Gast explained it, which was great. So I don't. No big deal. What do you think, dude?
So
Oh,
here
go
are
ahead,
the
go ahead.
benefits, right?
Go
I'm
first.
sorry. I'm gonna.
No, you go
I
ahead.
didn't mean to cut you off there.
Go, please.
The benefits of this is like it's an in-game event, right?
Yeah.
All of the events they've hosted previously have been in like on a separate, flash page that you had to like go out.
Mhm.
This is integrated into the game.
Mhm.
That in and of itself is amazing. Like, win Second Dinner. This is so good. You should have had this in your presentation. But no. What the fuck? All right, go ahead. Sorry, MBD.
No, it's all good. I mean, I don't actually have that much of an opinion on it, so I appreciate that was a godlike rant. I love that. I'm happy we got you on the show today, Obi. That was good. I would say I used to play a lot of Smash Bros. I don't really like watching the IGN or stuff like this. Like I'm more of a what are you doing for me, not what are you going to say. Maybe I'm just jaded from like politicians and stuff. People talk and nobody actually does anything. So I just like judge. I like to just live in the present. What's in the game now, and let me enjoy it. What's actually in the game now. It's more of a. That's how I like to live life. So I didn't really care about the IGN thing in general. But when I used to play Smash Bros, a lot of the boys and girls I used to play with looked really forward to this thing called a Nintendo Direct. And basically, like Nintendo has this convention every few months, and they preview all the upcoming games, and they show, and people get like really hyped for this shit. Like they do it live, like the Twitch chat's crazy, the YouTube chat, like everything's like, whoa, like the new Fire Emblem, like whatever. Like people like lose their shit on this stuff, and like it's really well done. And Nintendo does a lot of things like suspect too. Don't get me wrong, but they do a phenomenal job. So they really should have just copied their formula there. Because whatever they did, I don't think based on what I saw on Twitter like the last couple of days, I don't think they really communicated what the hell is going on. In this development roadmap to the community, and that's all you need to do is just tell us like what's coming up, and maybe show with a little demonstration video or something. But you don't have to put that much effort into it. But sounds like a hard fumble. As far as what's actually coming, I mean, I'm pretty excited. If I watched guest video today, and I'm pretty pumped for Deadpool Diner. That looks pretty fun. I'm definitely going to grind some bubs and get in there and try to get the Nova variant. I'll be in there mixing it up. That looks like really fun to me, and it looks like a really like degenerate game of like PLO or something, like where you're just like you're betting and then you're raising and then you raise again, then you raise again, then the game raises for you and the stakes go. It's like you snap like 5 times, or I don't know, like the game auto snaps 3 times, you get another snap, they get a snap. Like it looks ridiculous. So I'm really excited. Like what games you stay in. Like what's it going to be like a 10 million bub game? That's like the equivalent to an 8 cube win now. So who knows, man? It should be really fun. I mean, you wouldn't have known that from watching the 6-hour live stream on IGN and wasting your life. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah. So Deadpool's Diner really gonna be really good. Gonna be a really fun game mode. Improved technical performance, dude. I'm happy about this. I don't care what anyone says. They're like, oh, this should just be something anyway. But like, this is gonna be great. This is something that people have been saying for a while. They should like slow down on the on the releases and shit, and just work on making the game more optimized. I'm happy that they're doing this, that they're focusing on this. I think it's good. I don't see any downside to that.
How long do we have to live with that demon sound bug? Oh my god!
Yeah.
When you played the hood and then you'd have like that crackling fire for like the rest of your session.
The whole game, yeah.
Oh, like that was brutal.
Yeah.
And I was playing so much bounce because I love bounce, and it's like hood needs to be in there, and. And I'm like, what is this? What is this campfire roasting marshmallows sound? Like, I was on stream and I'm like, guys, you hear that? Like, I think my sound's bugging out. It sounds really staticky. They're like, oh no, dude, it's a game bug.
Yeah. So it'd be nice.
It was there for months. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be nice for them to iron it out. You know which bug I don't even know is there because they neutered the card? The lockjaw bug. Whenever you put stuff in lockjaw,
I think they fixed it.
Sometimes it would come out like invisible, and you're like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, they fixed that. It took them like over a year, but I think they did fix that.
Yeah, they fixed it by nerfing lockjaw, so no one has that
No.
bug.
Oh,
Even before that.
shots
That too.
But yeah, so I'm excited to see that and just have the game run smoother. Custom card improvements. I think it'll be kind of cool. Probably like what is there? There's like new infinity splits, probably new borders and shit. I don't know. I think that'll be fun. Some people don't give a shit about that kind of stuff, which is fine. But I think it's cool stuff too. Like the cosmic borders have been, I've kind of I like seeing them a lot more than I thought I would. I thought I wouldn't care, but some people are posting splits. You're like, oh shit, they're so good, man.
Yeah,
they're really good.
Spend the 900 gold.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet, but it might happen at some point.
I haven't yet, but my gosh, when you get like that perfect combo, and you're like, man, I kind of want to dress this up a little bit more.
Yeah.
I've done hard to resist.
I've done one so far because I recently got like a god split on Hulkbuster of all
right,
cards.
well, you literally have to go back to your Marvel Snap screen and show it off right now, please.
Oh yeah, it was a gold with red crackle Hulkbuster.
Ooh, okay.
And I had to put the cosmic border on because it was on sale actually. The red cosmic was on sale.
Red cosmic.
So I was like, fuck, I gotta do it.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
It looks sick, right?
That's awesome. That's the Dan hip.
Yeah, this is the hip. The original.
Very cool.
The blueprint.
Yeah.
And even the pixel looks sick.
Yeah, pixel looks good too.
Pixel looks dope too.
Yeah,
oh
so
God,
it's
such a beautiful split.
Yeah, man, it's cool. I can't wait to get more Hulk.
Do you have 75,000 tokens?
Don't worry about it.
Wow.
I'm a filthy token hoarder.
Oh my goodness. How do you have so many? Show me the way.
The credit card.
All right.
The credit card helps. But also before they went to spotlights, I took advantage of the extra tokens in that. And then
you didn't swap. Okay, I see what you did.
Yeah, so I saved a bunch there, and then just like buying random variants, buying random shit.
I got you
from the collection track, and I've only in recent months started spending tokens on cards. I've been pretty good with the spotlight system of just getting them. So I just hoard, and I don't have any ultimate variants. So yeah.
Let me ask you guys. No, it's all good, man. People that get mad at other people for spending money that they enjoy, like on stuff that they enjoy, is absolutely asinine to me. Like,
it's weird.
Who cares? Who cares what we're spending our money on? It's our money.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not telling you not to go buy bubble gum at the store. Like, leave me the hell alone.
Yeah.
Not that I spend a lot of, like, I see that hate a lot in the community, and it's like, just let people live.
Well, I don't get it. I'm with you. I think it's confusing to me why people care. I even say, like, a lot of time, I've said this before on this podcast, is like, dude, the season pass is like $10. That's like 2 coffees from Starbucks. Like, just don't get 2 coffees from Starbucks. People like don't even bat an eye to spend like $5 on like a black coffee at Starbucks. Never mind, you get some sort of like fucking macchiato thing that's like $10. That's like your season pass. Like, get one less of those per month. In the U.S. I know that like in other countries it's like a little bit weirder with the conversion, but still. You're in the USA, you're getting Starbucks every day. Like, just don't do it 2 days, go make your own fucking coffee and then get a season pass and have some fun on Marvel Snap, But
season pass is by far the best value in Snap.
Yeah.
Aside from the Gold Pass. Gold Pass is also amazing. You should definitely be getting both of those. They're very affordable. They provide incredible value. And if you're someone who finds yourself struggling for resources, credits, gold, and you aren't already doing those 2 things, you failed.
Yeah, and like a lot more people spend money on this game than I think. Like, the Gambit bundle made me like see like the community outrage. I'm like, whoa, people are fucking spending $100 bundles, dude. Like, I'm not the only one going nuts every once in a while. Like, there's a lot of people buying these bundles. I'm like, I didn't think people are buying these, but like that's why they have them in the game. Like, people are like, oh, why are they having these $100 bundles? Yeah, because everyone's fucking buying them, dude. So yeah, and I'm with you, Obi. I don't know why people care about what other people spend their money on, but
right.
I don't.
Well, I think whales are good for the game. I mean, that like then people like me, or maybe like Obi was saying, if he just wants to buy season pass, gold pass, I'm kind of the same. Actually, I haven't even bought the gold pass in like a month, but I bought it the first 2 months. I got like 5K gold now, so I'm chilling for a bit. But like you could basically comfortably skip one card a month. I think if you just do season pass and occasional gold pass, I think you could skip one a month. And if you want to get all the cards, then you just gotta like occasionally buy like a $30 bundle. You never have to buy $100 bundle ever. Like you just like I just know because I don't, and it's like I very easily attain the cards. I think I'm missing like 2 cards or something. So yeah, I don't find the game that expensive, and I think if people are spending like Hooglin just posted he spent $16,000 on the game. Did you see that tweet?
No.
16,000 US dollars on the game. I mean,
I know he could write it off, but
yeah, he writes it off for business. So, but I mean, you still, that's still money you're paying, right? Like,
right.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm really happy. He's like, can we not just be happy because he's supporting the rest of us? Like, second that goes to second dinner. It pays their salary, and the game stays alive. We get updates, we get OTAs, we get new cards, like we get all this shit. And thanks to Hooglin, like you go thank him for that because he's the one who wrote the check. So. Whales are like, very good for the game, in my opinion. So I'm happy people are spending that much.
Yeah.
So I don't have to.
Yeah. So shameless plug. If you don't already have the gold pass and you want it, we do a gold pass giveaway every deep space. So make sure you come and check me out on Twitch.
ObiHaved, no underscores or anything. ObiHaved.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's right.
I love it. Yeah, plug yourself all day, man. There's only 10 people that watch this anyway, so you might get a good
one. Slight bump.
Yeah. In development, so stuff that is, and it seems like this development roadmap is a lot. They include a lot less stuff compared to other things, which to me makes me think like they're just focusing on things that they actually want to get done instead of overpromising bullshit that like they aren't going to do. Like I think one thing that a lot of people were disappointed. Actually, I want to get your opinion, Obi. No big deal. The character mastery. People were pissed about that. Sure. So much so that it looks like they're actually going to try and make it work, but there was like technical, difficulties. I don't know. Personally, I didn't care that much for it, but I respect the people that were pumped about it because they're, what did you guys think about the character mastery?
Well, what is it? Just for the people, like, what was the promise? What was the initial promise? Do you know? Because I don't.
If you had split a card more than 20-ish times, you got something. Is I think what it boiled down to.
Like I think it was like a badge on it or something, like a first edition badge or something like that.
I think it was like it was going to be stuff like you do certain things with cards, and then the cards themselves, the characters themselves, level up. And then you get rewards based on that, like split Deadpool 300 times or something. Not 300 times. Split him 10 times, get a reward. Own 5 variants of Deadpool. He gets leveled up to level 3. You get a reward.
Destroy him 1,000 times.
Destroy him 1,000 times. You level up, get him a reward, and then you get rewards based on your mastery of that character. And like I think they said like they're gonna have specific splits too. Like if you get like the character like level 5, then he gets a unique split. Like I don't know, like a black border or whatever the fuck they wanted to do, So it would be really cool to like, it sounded like a really cool thing. So like, and some people I guess were pre-buying variants in like anticipation for it, which I don't recommend doing that kind of stuff.
They haven't scrapped it, so to speak.
Yeah,
right?
Now they haven't.
Their intention is to bring the feature.
Yeah.
But what they did this time is they only wanted to list things that they were fairly certain were coming to the game in a timely manner, right? Like the in-concept stuff is different. They can't put character mastery when it was like coming soon back to the in-concept because technically it's not in concept. What happened is they ran into a technical issue that didn't allow them to create the add-on as intended. So, and it's going to take quite a bit of effort to overcome said technical things. So it's just on the back burner for now. It hasn't been lost, at least my understanding. It's just, it's not coming yet. and they weren't ready to promise a date or say like, oh, we can get it done within, because there's an unknown there, right?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I think it's a cool thing. So hopefully they work out the kinks sooner rather than later. But like, yeah, it's all good.
I will say that the Marvel Snap community is very sensitive to bad news.
Yeah, it's true. I wish people could just shrug it out. Like, I don't care that much. Like, I'm just like, oh, whatever. The game's still fun. We'll just play.
Yeah, long as
whatever.
the game's fun. I mean, that's all I care about.
Yeah,
really.
But they even called it out in the README section of this page that you're on. If you scroll down a little bit, they talk about character mastery, why it's not on there, and what happened. They didn't say it's not coming. It's just that they found some stuff that's blocking it currently.
Yeah,
and we've pivoted to other things that we're able to deliver and should bring excitement, like the free card mode that nobody knew about.
Yes, free card, and that card's not going to be in Spotlight caches. They confirmed that. The last week of the season is going to have 3 previous 4 and 5 cards that people don't have. So skip week, nice. Or if you don't have them, get them. In development, Alliances, which is coming July 30th. Yep. I think that's going to be fun. It's gonna, there's social stuff. They, I'll scroll down. Actually, there's like pictures of it here.
They got chat.
Yeah, they got a chat, so you can fuck around with people, your community. You can build a whole community. It's going to be hilarious.
We don't have to go to Discord now, so that's good.
Yeah,
Discord's
and it looks
the
like
option right now.
It looks like people, like, you can just pick missions that you want to do, and so everyone can pick like 3 at a time. And so, like, as a team, like, you do like, whatever it is, like play 4 cost cards, that kind of bullshit, like the dailies. But everyone can pick some, and so you can like level up your alliance that way and get rewards, which is cool. And then in the concept, which we don't know if they're going to have, but eventually alliance competitions, that'll be fun too. Mm-hmm. So alliances, I'm pretty excited for. I think it's going to be a fun thing just to screw around with people, and that's it.
Alliances are just it's another activity to do in the game that we didn't have access to previously, that are going to give you more resources that you didn't have previously. This is all win. People that are upset about alliances, I don't understand. Like, you're getting free stuff and you don't have to pay. It's free. You just have to show up and play the game. That's it. Everybody should be shouting from the rooftops, "This is amazing!" But again, I don't get it. Like, I'll have streams where I'm giving, like last night, we were giving out a premium mystery variant. I had 100 people in the stream. Only 30 people hit !deep to join the giveaway drawing. What, like, 70 people were just like, no, I don't like free shit.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah,
I'm sorry. Am I allowed to curse on here?
Yeah. We've been swearing the whole time. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Say whatever the fuck you want. We're in no danger of being monetized anytime soon, so don't worry.
All right, fair.
We're okay. We don't care. We're having fun, man. Say whatever the hell you want. We're good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Alliances, amazing. I'm happy for it, man. I think it's going to be all good. Leagues too. Another like just free thing they're bringing to the game. They didn't make it pay to win. They made a pay to win tier if you want to be pay to win, or you could just be in a league, and it's just like
it's not pay to win. It's pay to bet on yourself.
Pay to enter,
right?
Yeah.
Pay to grind.
So right. So if you think you have the chops to rock it out, absolutely spend the money, get the better rewards. Mm-hmm. But if you're like, I just want to try this out, see what happens, blah 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 blah. They got a free option for you too.
Well, I would say grind
absolute
to
win.
That's a grind to win feature for sure.
Yeah,
definitely don't join if you don't have time to play the game. I would say it would be my, don't spend money to join the premium if you don't have like 5 hours to play, minimum, So
I would prefer they use time as a currency as opposed to my MasterCard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and it's good. And then the leagues, like even the non-pay ones, is just like, it's just passive. So it's just you could just ignore it if you want to as well, and just play the game, and you probably will win some rewards, which is cool.
It's free stuff. Just free stuff.
New card mechanic. So I think it's going to be drained. No big deal. You have other thoughts?
Well, remember like in Hearthstone, like this is a Ben Broad game, so like Hearthstone, at least I mean I didn't play it that long. I played like 9 to 13-ish months, but I do remember they released like new cards that did like if certain other cards, like if you play 4 of the same card, then they all get +1 or something. Like I think it's gonna be something like that. I think the Drain thing is just Cassandra Nova, is my theory. My first thought was Drain when I read it. I'm like, oh, Drain, but I'm like, they're not gonna make a bunch of Drain cards. I think that's just gonna be her because I don't think it'll be unique enough. They're really like second, they're sick with card design. Like let's be honest, like the card design in this game is phenomenal. Like how they come up with all these different ideas. So I think it'll be. The way Guest outlined it, which is like, you have on reveal, you have ongoing, it's going to be something else, I think. So yeah, I don't know. Like maybe if the lane's full or something, like I don't know, full location, I don't know, whatever. Like I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's going to be Drain. I think that's going to be just Cassandra Nova, and maybe one other card in the future will have it. But yeah,
I think it's Drain.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is that's technically a new keyword that.
Yeah.
And just knowing Second Dinner's communication style, like it's Drain.
Yeah, I think it's Drain, and I think they'll come up with unique ways of using it too. You know, like Drain, like they did with the Affliction stuff, kind of like with Abomination and stuff. Drain 2 from each person in this lane or whatever. They can do stuff like that. I think they'll end up doing things like that with the keyword.
Okay, well, let me just say this: if like I think this Cassandra Nova card is gonna be pretty oppressive.
Yes.
Like I don't think she's gonna be fun to play against. Let me put it that way. You're gonna have your deck getting fucking roasted every time she goes down, like for very little commitment, and she's a big stat stick on top of that. So you're gonna have a 3/8 that sucks your deck. That sucks. If they put a bunch of other, and like I'm excited for her too. Like I'll be playing her, but if they put a bunch of other cards in the game that do the same thing, it's gonna be really bad. Like I don't know, man. They put a bunch of vampires in the game or something, like vampire mechanic. Like it's not gonna be fun. Like this, just having your cards like roasted. Like some of these cards are low power and they're reliant on being low power, and yeah, man, it's gonna be rough. So hopefully it's not a bunch of cards that drain the deck. Like you said, kid, if they go, okay, maybe one drains a location. Maybe one drains your own hand, Drain, oh, that'd be kind of cool if it drains your hand, but then you don't
play. And then it gets +2?
Yeah, something like, or it just takes one power from each card in your hand and gets it, onto the board. Like, that's kind of interesting, right? But yeah, if they all steal from your deck.
Better Gilgamesh.
Yeah, it's going to be spooky.
Yeah, no, I think they'll come up with creative ways of it, with it, like to interact even with your own cards and stuff too. That'll be kind of cool. It's not all. I don't think it's all going to be like from your opponent's deck all the time.
Yeah,
there's no way.
There's just no way. Because I'm scared of that.
I think it'll just be her.
Yeah,
she's like a full.
They'll integrate it in also into like a lane, right? Like, but I mean, isn't that also? Like what's the Jotunheim, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how you would integrate Drain into like a location, but unless they like set it to the hand, like if you have a card here, expect a leeching or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. She I think she'll be a pretty good card, but also like if you play her on 3, then you have 3 draws that are -1 power, right? In a 6 draw game, and then she's probably like what. I don't know how many cards you have left in your deck. She'll be a 3/7, a 3/8, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll be all right if you play her on 3. She'll be pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to her.
Yeah, she'll be fun. Then also in development, collectible infinity splits. Sure, good stuff. Whatever. They add more stuff to the game. It's fun. In concept, card acquisition improvements, alliances, competitions, and I know. We're 2 hours in here, so let's just talk about draft mode. I know you guys, no big deals, want to talk about draft mode. Obi, I don't know how pumped you are about draft mode, but before we go, I think we got to talk about draft mode. So, I don't know. Go for it. No big deal. You've been so excited.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite part of Hearthstone was the arena. I mean, the arena's sick. Like, I like just everybody's on an even playing field. You're going in there with this, like, randomly constructed deck, that you just had to pick random cards from, throw it together. It's a deck you would just never play if you went into collection and constructed it on your own. Like, it's just a completely different game experience, and I think that's the beauty of different game modes. They give you a totally different experience playing the game. Draft mode does that. Also lets you try out new cards. You don't have new cards. You try them out, and then maybe you like them and you go buy them, because you're never reliably going to get that card in draft mode. You have to RNG it out of a pool of 500 cards. So you're not going to people think like, oh, this is anti-monetization because you play with the new cards. Like, bro, you're not going to see it. Like 1 in 20 games, you're going to see the card you want. It's like, shut up. Like, that's ridiculous. But if you play that one game and you like it, maybe go buy it. So, and it probably costs money even just to enter the draft too. So I love the idea of draft mode. I saw Glenn was talking about how like it's failed in other games or something. I hope that's not true. I hope they kind of stick to the Hearthstone formula because I think Hearthstone did a great job on it. And I hope we get something like that, or whatever second dinner flair they want to add to it. That's great. But yeah, something like that, in a year from now, I'll be absolutely fired up and I'll be in the streets drafting teams all day.
What do you think, Obi?
I love draft mode. In fact, I have a chat draft mode created by Oro and JJ Rolk that we have integrated into the Twitch stream. So my viewers get a selection of cards and they can all vote on it, and they draft me a deck that I then take into the game to play. Super cool.
That's great.
To have it integrated into the actual application, I'm all for it. They need to add new modes to the game. I know we're getting Deadpool's Diner, and that's the new mode, but it's limited time, and we don't know when it's going to be coming back either. But I feel that a game stays fresh when you always have new things to, and I understand you get a new card each week, but we're still grinding the same ladder. Conquest hasn't been touched in like a year and a half. Like, at the very least, add a color filter to the little swirly thing that goes around your border each month, so you can
Yeah.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like, why do we have the same reward? Like, that's easy. Then you just go into Photoshop and pop in a filter, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
or like inked avatars and stuff like that, gold avatars, like there's stuff in the
dude.
game.
There's so many things that you could do to like spice up the reward of Conquest, as opposed to that lame thing that's always been there. And the original thing that they had, like the original swirl that you couldn't even see.
Yeah.
Like I was on stream and I was like, guys, look at this. It's like, I know you guys are like super pumped to get this, but like, here's the thing and here's the original avatar, and you couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, it'll be nice to have a new mode. I'd say if they do draft mode, like they said, they initially didn't want to do it because Steven was like, "Hey, in every other game, this doesn't make any money, so we're not doing it." But I guess there's been a huge outreach, outpour from the community, being like, "Hey, we love draft mode," so now they're actually considering it. Glenn says it's one of his, it seemed like he's pumped to like balance it. It's one of his favorite things to do or something.
Well, you could do cool things with it, like 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3, stuff like that, where like there's certain rules to the draft mode, and they could rotate those rules each week. Like this week, we're doing an all ones thing, and we're only drafting one. Whatever it is, it's ladies' night at the draft mode. We're only offering up ladies. Make your, I don't. There's so many things that you could do with it. And I know they're going to hit it out of the park. I think they know they can't just do the straight vanilla draft mode that we're used to.
They're not. They said they're not going to do it. Yeah.
Right.
So and I like that. They're going to put their second dinner flair. Here's my pitch. This is my thought. You think about this.
Hit me.
So 5 locations, draft 20 cards, you get double the energy.
That's wild. That sounds like a 2v2 type
like
mode.
a duos, I think that'd be funny. I don't know, but whatever they do, it'll be fun. I personally, I'm not like, I was never a draft mode kind of guy. Like in Hearthstone, I didn't really care that much about the arena. I think it'd be awesome to have a new mode. I'm not as excited as everyone in draft. I feel like the very, 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 very minority of people that are like, I don't care that much about draft mode. But not to say that I wouldn't be pumped as hell if it came to the game. I'd be very, very excited. but
Right.
I'm not like a draft mode guy, you know.
And look, to
But
the
it is
point
cool,
of, sorry, kid, I would say to the point of monetization, look, if people stop playing your game and your game dies, you're not going to make any money. So,
Yeah.
like, it's not fucking hard to understand this very simple concept. Like, if people are playing your game that is monetized naturally, then you will continue to make money. And if people get bored of the same exact grind even if you get to rank 1 now, what do you get? Like, you're Tanjo, you finished rank 1. What do you get? Like, you get to
More
post
viewers.
it, you get to tweet about it. Like, there's not even a reward for getting like top 100 on the ladder. Like, it's crazy. Like, so even the modes they have in the game, that the only ones we can play, like, the rewards are horseshit. Like, there's no like real reason to do them. We just do it because we have fun playing Marvel Snap. The actual game Marvel Snap is fun. But these modes they already have in the game are not even that fun. It's great that there's a ladder, but there's no reward for it, and it resets every month. So it's like, if you add a draft mode to the game, it'll just have people play the game more. Like, they'll have Marvel Snap open for longer on their phone or on their PC, wherever they want to play. It's not that hard of a concept. And you're advertising all your shit on the shop anyway. You got more screen time where they're looking at the monetized stuff, the bundles, whatever you're pushing there, and it'll make you money that way. You could charge gold to enter a draft like they did in Arena. Is it your fault that maybe Hearthstone didn't execute that well enough? It doesn't mean the mode's not fun. So I'm just not hearing that shit at all. Like, that's ridiculous.
Fair. It's fair. I'm not going to argue, but I don't know shit about any of this.
I don't mind them charging for entries as long as they gave you a few on the free. You know what I'm saying? Like the first 2 or 3 that you do a week is
maybe instead of a gold ticket on the collection track,
yes,
you get a draft entry.
Man, fuck these gold tickets. That's why I have like 600 things. I have like 600 unopened boxes because I'm like, I get all these gold tickets and I don't play Conquest, and I'm like, the reward is like 10
use the
boosters.
Gold ticket on either or, like you got to choose. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Actually, that would be cool.
They do need to eliminate the amount of time that it takes to conquest from start to finish is absurdly long.
Yeah,
like I shouldn't be sitting there for 4 hours to get the same border that was available to me months and months and months ago. Like, make it shorter. They get rid of silver conquest. Like, we just don't need it.
I'm with you on get rid of silver. Yeah, silver's got to go for sure. There's just no need for silver.
This is why I play Conquest Tuesday mornings, and I just snap aggressively, and then whatever happens, happens. Yeah, and I'm just like, whatever. That's my Conquest usually, and I'm a Proving Ground hero as well.
Why Tuesday morning? Like, is that just the day for Conquest?
It's the last day of Conquest, right before everything resets. It's like a few hours before everything resets, so it's like, all right, I have this dedicated time that I can play, and then I'm not gonna, otherwise, like, it's just too much of a grind, and I'd rather just do other stuff. Honestly, I don't enjoy grinding. I'm like, all right, I'll pressure myself to do it right before everything resets, and I'll just snap on everything, and that'll be it. That'll be that. If I get a border, great. If I don't, great. That's the only reason. It's stupid, but yeah. Any final thoughts, guys? Obi, do you have anything else you want to say on this development roadmap? I want to give you the final thought on this roadmap here.
Go ahead, Obi. I'm good on the roadmap.
The roadmap is absolutely a win.
Yeah.
This is everything that we want to see from a roadmap. The actual communication on it just sucked so badly. It's a damn shame. So what I will say is I am excited for what's coming to the game. I'm all pumped for alliances. The academy is going to be open to all. So if you guys want to join in, come on in. I'm looking forward to the chat feature in the game. I'm hoping that they take it a little bit further. My thing is like have a friends list. Let yourself have a profile where you can show off like your 3 favorite splits.
Yeah.
Maybe the deck of the week that you want to show. Like, hey guys, I've been slaying with this list. And spectator mode. We need a spectator mode. For tournaments, we need spectator mode. And just in general, like if I saw the kid on my friends list in a game, like, yeah, let me see what the kid's playing, right?
Yeah. That would be cool. I would love that.
Yeah.
I would
for
love
sure.
that.
But all in all, this is a great roadmap. I'm excited for the future of the game. it looks like they're actually trying to make things better. They're working on card acquisition improvements. So that's for free to play new players and returning players. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
These are all good things, guys. Like, it's all free stuff.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be upset.
It's good. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I'm pumped about this, and it looks realistic, not like when they had like 10 other things, in the previous ones. So it looks like they actually want to be like realistic. Hey, this is what we're working on. This is what we're going to deliver on. I'm happy about it.
Right.
Obi, man, I want to say thank you so much for coming on. Dude, we had a blast on with you. We're like fucking almost, they're over 2 hours here.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I'm like,
did I reach the like, are we at the top one? Like, did we go the longest?
Yeah, we're up there.
We're up there. Yeah. There's been not too much. I feel bad that I don't want to take too much of your time. I feel like an asshole.
Rarely
no.
go
I mean,
hours.
we could go all day, guys. Like, I've had an absolute blast with you guys. Like I said, I've been looking forward to coming on the podcast, and I've been waiting for that call. Like, I was like, come on, please. Like, everybody's going, what is it, Obi's turn? I want to talk Snap. Come on, baby. And when you IM'd me, I was like, oh, it's on. I absolutely adore you guys. Thank you so much for having me on and letting me just talk, nonsense and Marvel Snap stuff. It's been a blast. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, I want to say, like, honestly, like, we're not good. I mean, No Big Deals is completely fucking clueless, but I'm like not good at like, oh, hey, do you want to come on? Like, I randomly will ask people and stuff, but like, if you ever want to come on, dude, open invitation anytime.
Sure.
Please just message us. We're just two idiots that just fucking talk shit, and like we don't like we don't know what the hell we're doing. Like, whatever. Ask people to come on the podcast. We even have guests for the longest time. Then like people were asking like, hey, can we come on? We're like, oh shit, I guess sure. Like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. So like, we're like, you want to talk to us? Like,
Exactly.
Sure.
So like, I'm not anytime, dude. Anytime, seriously. Like, we're
Perfect.
we're available. Let us know. Like, there's no don't feel
He's
bad.
gonna
or anything,
regret he
whatever.
said that.
Yeah, whatever. Come
Now
on
I'm gonna
all the
be
time.
like all up in his DMs, bro. How about this week?
Bro, you want to be an honorary Snap, bro? You're in. Yeah.
Right on.
No big deal. What do you got to say to the people, man?
Well, shout out Obi. I mean, that developer rant was great. I loved it. Reminded me of Joe's hot location rant from a couple weeks ago. We've had some good guests come on with some beautiful rants. That's what I'm all about. I love that stuff. That's that's the beauty of podcasts. Shout out Nerf Herder. Like, get a little bit of Twitter fingers. Trying to talk some shit on Twitter. I just thought I'm not much of a tweeter. I don't want to tweet him back. I am a podcaster though, so I have to talk a little shit on my podcast. So hopefully it's all in good fun. Hopefully it doesn't take it too bad. But I have no regrets of what I did there. And shout out to everybody, Zoo Meta. And it's crazy that Zoo's like really good right now. There's been a lot of times where we thought maybe, and then no, but hey, the numbers look good. It feels good. It's really fun. So dust off your Zoo cards and rock and roll, baby. Let's go.
That's it. Shayna Meta.
Yeah.
Peace.
Later.